Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another League of Legends Warrior Esports tournament. My name is Rubel.
And I'm Splendid Bobble. Sorry about those technical difficulties earlier. We got something in our throats and we just weren't able to get the audio through. We promise you it wasn't a technical difficulty. In any case, we should have some tournament report or tournaments coming
Hello,
up very
ladies
shortly.
and gentlemen.
We're just
Welcome
trying to
back
hunt
to
down
another
all the
League of
teams,
Legends
but we
Warrior
might jump into another
Esports
game.
tournament.
Otherwise, we'll have this game started for you really shortly. We have 8 teams today. Should be a great tournament.
Yep, first round of the game that we're trying to get into is going to be between Surprise I'm Black versus Duposaurus Rex. But while that's going on, there will be 3 other games going on, and that's the Foop Squad versus Lumpy Space Pirates, Juke Academy versus Twist and Shout Fanfic. Fairfic? I do that every time.
Fanfic. Yeah. Yeah, and it's Space Princess. Well, I mean, pirates are basically princesses, so or maybe princesses are basically pirates. Which way does that go? How is the princess pirate Venn diagram? Is it just like one's inside the other? In any case,
regardless, and the final game is going to be C8 Nam versus Vayu Laugh. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all going on while we're getting this all set up.
Yeah, we're working out. There's some team issues there. Someone may or may not have started a game, so we'll get you into a game very shortly. In any case, we'll talk about the 4.14 patch. This is the patch that Worlds is going to be played on, so this is the most important patch of the year, if you will. At least in the sense that, it's basically like locked in. There's going to be no more changes. Whatever champions are good in this patch, or whatever is really the top or the cream of the crop, that's what it's going to be for Worlds. So,
and there's not a lot of crazy changes like we're normally used to, where like somebody gets nerfed into the ground and somebody gets buffed, like one major buff. Yeah. It's a lot of tweaking, and the biggest thing to come out is Gnar, but.
Yeah, and he's actually super exciting. As far as I can tell, he's kind of like a ranged Renekton in top lane, which is pretty crazy. He's like half Renekton, half Kennen, both of whom have been like massive top lane bullies in their in their times. So it's really interesting. Anytime you have a resource, a manaless bruiser like that, you always have to be very careful, because all the maned bruisers, they often have to really manage an additional resource.
Yep.
It's difficult to win trades when, you run out of mana, obviously. You can't use any abilities. But so the manaless ones, that's part of why Kennen and Renekton are so strong. Their abilities might be a little bit weaker, like, comparatively.
Yeah.
But because they can just use them on cooldown without having to manage that resource, really. It really gives them a tremendous amount of staying power up in top. He doesn't have inherent sustain like Renekton, but he has a lot of CC, a lot of good damage and poke.
Yep, he has great damage and poke. Some of the biggest things that he has to worry about is, even though he doesn't have a resource to really manage, he wants to be able to time his transformations, because essentially how he works is it's similar to like Graves' passive, where basically once he's in combat, he starts building up those counters, and then it'll stop and fade away if he leaves combat, but it will maintain for quite some time. And basically, if you're properly last hitting, you'll slowly build up that rage. Yeah. So every time he hits 100, he will transform into Mega Gnar, and basically he loses pretty much all mobility, and he becomes like this massive beast, very similar to Renekton ult, where he just can destroy people. And he does a great job at that, but the problem is, if you time it incorrectly, you can really lose a lot of presence in your lane. So, he is very good champion, don't get me wrong. It's just, I think it's going to be a little bit like Lee Sin for a while, where he's going to be popular at the very beginning, then he's going to fall off a little bit while people are trying to figure it out. And then once people do figure it out, he's just going to be this monster for a while.
I haven't seen him enough to know how powerful he is. I would...
his burst when he's ulting is absolutely nuts.
I would, well, that's the thing. I think, oftentimes they release champions a little bit overtuned. And considering he's... this is the World's patch, although they might hotfix things. They've been known to hotfix something if they just don't want him to be 100% picked. 100% in the first 7 champions, either, first picked or banned. So it's possible there, but if he is a little bit overtuned on his numbers, I think he's a lot more like Rumble. Okay, because Rumble was a little bit more overtuned. Because Rumble, they've tried to push it a little bit more, where you really have to manage that danger zone. Going over too far just loses, you can lose a ton of lane presence or just lose a fight if you overheat. And he's kind of like that too. You really want to go into a you wanna turn into Mega Gnar when you want to turn into Mega Gnar, but because it's a little bit difficult to control, It's not just like Renekton passive where he can just like build it up and then use it whenever he wants. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Like he turns into Mega Gnar. He doesn't have a choice about it. He can't control it.
He can slow it down sometimes, just like for a few seconds and delay it.
Once he turns it on, you know, once he hits that 100 rage, he's you know, he's going to turn into that Mega Gnar for a while, and then there's a cooldown on it once he loses all of his rage too. So he loses that ability to really become that massive tanky CC machine. And he does have a little bit of mobility. He has a dash. He has a built-in dash when he's in Mega Gnar. He can jump on you.
Yeah.
So, but aside from that, he loses his
cooldown.
Range. He loses attack speed. He loses move speed. But he gains a ton of hit points and damage. And, yeah. So he's a really cool character. He has hard CC. He has double hard CC in Mega Gnar form, plus a slow. So he is, you know, if you can control it well, he is a CC bot, which is, you know, any like tanky, like built-in tanky CC bots like Maokai. We saw Maokai come back. He has good built-in tankiness and just CC on all of his abilities. Okay. Yeah, we had some difficulties getting that Duposaurus Rex versus Surprise on Black game going, so we're actually going to jump right into the Foop Squad versus Lumpy Space Princess game for you in just a little bit.
Yep, we'll be... Okay, so that game is actually going on right now, and yeah, we will be doing that right now, and it looks like the game is underway. We will be jumping in, so give us a... while we get our bearings in,
and
we apologize for not quite catching the beginning. We're probably missed like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, we just had some technical difficulties. Basically, another team like checking in and then not being present for putting together that lobby. So we're jumping into another game that is going on right now. We're going to go into bed.
Okay. So it looks like we have a Wombo combo style kind of thing going on here versus a CC hit and run is what I'm seeing as kind of the team comps here. There's the Malphite Oriana monkey, just insane Wombo combo, but there's a tremendous amount of team fight power on Purple's side. Yep.
Aatrox is actually a pretty big team presence. He does a lot of damage. You want to focus him down. We have a gank actually coming in up top. Jack's counter-strike should get him away out of that's fine.
Beautiful little counter-strike there from him.
Yeah, good timing. Lucian's actually going to get hit by the Chompers. I'm not sure how this fight's going to go, but Brahm's blocking tons of damage.
Morgana gets forced to flash out there with that ignite pressure there from Jinx, and that should be enough to force her back, and this is going to put a lot of pressure here on this
lane. He's very low. As soon as these creeps get on tower, he should probably be going back right now, because as these creeps get on tower, they're high enough to dive him, although Jinx doesn't have any mana, so they might not dive.
So Purple Team does have a small advantage here at this early game just because they do have those 2 kills, but keep in mind, those 2 kills and that gold spread is not that outrageous right now.
No, just about 1,000 gold. In any case, Lucian's doing a good job of keeping the creeps off the tower, but Aatrox is coming in. Yeah, they're definitely going to dive this as soon as those creeps get on tower, and Lucian does have his flash up. He does have his flash up, but not his heal. So as soon as Morgana actually got back in time.
Yeah.
This is really good. If they come off tower, they're going to die to this Aatrox.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Jinx and Braum are backing up as they should be to not just make this too obvious. Lucian's going to go back. Morgana's going to sit on tower smart. So they've actually wasted a ton of Aatrox time here, which is really brilliant.
Yeah,
she's coming out. If she gets hit by this knockup, okay, she did not black shield it. She should die here.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's going to be pretty close, and it might take some tower hits. Braum looks like
between Braum and Aatrox trading tower damage, there was no way she was getting out. As soon as she got knocked up, if she black shielded the Aatrox knockup, I think she survives it. But I'm not positive, but I think so.
Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Wukong is just kind of farming the jungle. He's a little bit ahead of that Aatrox, even though, Aatrox did get that kill earlier on in the game, which we did miss. So it looks like he's going to have a pretty substantial...
Monkey actually has a death, so I don't know if that could have been a 2v2 top. And I would not be surprised. Jack's Aatrox is way stronger than Monkey Malphite at this point. At that level 3, 2v2 up top fight.
Yeah,
it's also possible.
Pretty weak.
Yeah, Yasuo has a kill as well. It was.
Could have been mid.
Yeah, it was on mid. So Yasuo killed Ori. Yeah, the fight actually could have been mid too. They might have. Yasuo doesn't have an assist, so it's unlikely that they double killed Monkey and Ori mid. That's also a little bit less likely. Ori's very, very strong at this point in the game. She gets a big power spike at level 6, but she did get a nerf, actually. That's one of the big things they changed in this patch. She lost 6 points of base attack damage.
Yeah, which is actually very substantial. Like, for those of you who don't realize, those base stats, they're extremely important in the balancing.
Yeah, it also hurts her last hitting a bit. But mainly it hurts her trading. Because of her clockwork windup, she has a lot of early auto attack damage, so she can really bully mid laners, especially melee mid laners, just with those auto attacks. So taking off a little bit of that initial damage, it doesn't hurt her skill. Wow, 4-man invade with this blue buff. Aatrox has it already,
and the culling whiffs quite a lot here.
Aatrox
comes in from the back
here, but like I'm not sure.
Oh, beautiful wind wall, and Ori's wall actually whiffs really hard there. She threw out the ultimate, but it wasn't able to do much. Yasuo ultimate manages to knock out both the bottom laners here, and that might be enough to get this triple kill going on. Aatrox manages to steal that. Well, okay, 2 double kills. That's really good for purple team. The goal advantage is going to be pretty
that was really rough. They 4-man invade to try and make some plays, get caught and split up, and purple team just completely tears them apart in that fight. Ori needed a good shot right there. Is basically the story.
Yeah, and
of that.
she whipped it real hard. She didn't hit anyone. Yep. And purple team got a dragon out of it. That gold advantage is now a little under 5k in purple team's favor, which is extremely rough at 9 minutes in.
Yeah, that is, it was a little bit close even at like 0-3, but now they're in a lot of trouble, and this is a big problem. They have a wombo combo team. They don't really have split push potential from anyone except maybe Lucian.
Yeah.
Malphite can't really split push because he can't really 1v1 a Jax. It just takes him too long to actually win this fight.
Up at top lane, it looks like Malphite is going to be forced back here. He really wants to get the kill, but he's pretty close to being
Monkey's coming up. Malphite, I believe, has his ult up. Malphite has his ult up, and he has that 10% shield up, so Malphite can actually just, like, ult that bush, and this should be a dead
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Jinx.
Duel between ADCs.
And she almost gets him with the combination of that red buff, but he managed to dodge the flame chompers there, which is enough to barely keep him alive at bottom lane. So, who knows? We might have a hope here at bottom lane, but, geez, mid lane, we got a dive going on. Events going on all over the place right now.
Yeah, looks like, Orianna went down to Yasuo Braum dive, and looks like, so Lucian actually killed Morgana 1v2. Yeah. Which is just, Jinx killed Morgana 1v2, but then got the kill on Lucian.
Or gave up the kill.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, one for one bottom. In a 2v1, that's pretty rough because you really, if you have more people at a place, you really need to not just be going even.
And meanwhile, top lane, Aatrox manages to just get the kill there with that ultimate on Malphite, and it looks like Jax is going to push out this lane up at top. Yasuo trying to search around for this monkey, it looks like, and put a little bit of pressure on this mid lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're just pushing out. But keep in mind, that gold advantage is very substantial. It's now 5.5k for purple team, and Aatrox is going to be a beast the next time he goes back.
Well, and we also, like, look at this. Aatrox built double jungle items. This is the Trick 2G strat, where you build both Madrid's Razors and Spirit Stone, and it makes your jungle farming insanely fast. You clear, a wave in literally 2 seconds. Woo! Morgana forced to flash that super mega death rocket. So Jinx going hard, but good flash, good ult usage by Jinx, and everyone's playing really well down in that bottom lane right now. This top lane from Malphite is going to be really, really rough because he's not going to get any help, and Jax is ahead. Jax is winning this fight. Malphite can't really trade with it right now. Jax just has too much sustain with those double doors, plus that crystalline flash.
Big ultimate there from actually Lucian here at bottom lane. Manages to clear the entire mid wave and put some solid damage here on Braum. And even Morgana hitting that bind made him...
We have a monkey coming in mid. It looks like he's ulting. 2-man ult, but nothing's going to come of this. Aatrox is 401. I don't know if they really want to be fighting this. And Aatrox is ahead.
With red buff, the Yasuo ultimate goes down, and
beautiful shockwave should kill Yasuo.
And it looks like Aatrox manages to get out nice and fine, but keep in mind he has massive amounts of sustain. Meanwhile, at bottom lane, purple team is pushing out extremely hard. Ignite goes down,
and I think he's
dead. And that's going to be see a turret here down at this bottom lane unless they decide to go back immediately, but I assume they're going to take that turret. Meanwhile, up at top, Jax putting on the pressure up here. He's probably going to take that turret as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, Aatrox is going to take that turret as well. So we're going to see a 3-turret swing here for this purple team, most likely, and that's going to be pretty huge. That brings that gold advantage to probably around 9.5k.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big need for purple team. They're just dominating every lane, basically. You know, everyone's winning 1v1 or even matchups handily. They have objective control, and they have the scaling. Aatrox scales insanely well, especially when he's ahead, stupidly far ahead as he is. 7 creeps up on Monkey, but more importantly, 6-0-1 out of the jungle with those double jungle items. Usually those set you behind on ganks.
Yeah.
But you make up for it in farm. But if you're getting kills while building double jungle items, like, it's awful. This is
Yasuo going a little aggressive here. Wukong shows up, but Yasuo lands a nice Q there, which nullifies nearly everything and actually forces them back just a bit. So.
Yeah, and even with Monkey, showing up, Yasuo isn't scared. He's still pushing this inner tower, so that's a.
He does have a static shiv done while she only has Seeker's Arm Guard, which is very bad for Ori. Because Seeker's Arm Guard is wonderful, but it doesn't provide nearly as much in terms of stats as Static Shiv does for Yasuo. Because Yasuo loves Static Shiv. It is definitely his best item.
Yeah, the flat 100 damage.
Meanwhile, top lane Jax looks like he might be able to get away here. Monkey is still chasing Jax. There goes the shield, but unfortunately unable to be saved there by the Braum ultimate.
Yep. So good plays. Good plays by blue team picking up that Jax there. He probably
Super Mega Death Rocket coming across
somebody,
and it might hit the Malphite. Oh, so close.
Yeah, with that tower down, like that's a pretty rough shot to make because normally people would stand on the towers and kind of fire it where he fires it. With the tower down, people don't.
Ooh, bottom lane Morgana initiates on Jinx with a beautiful exhaust into an ultimate, and that just wrecks her. Absolutely wrecks her. And
purple team's given up a little bit of this lead. They're still way ahead, but they're playing very aggressive. They're being very overconfident, and blue team here is.
Oh man,
no.
Yasuo gets a catch here on Lucian. Lucian might be able to get away. He did dodge the skill shot there from Yasuo.
Yeah, but there's no turret. He's dead. You can't run from a Yasuo like that. So yeah, unfortunately, they might have been able to kill him if War had not just gone back. So, any case, wow, they're going hard on the
Jax is diving here on Wukong, and there was a beautiful decoy there. And Jax is going to go down to a tower hit, giving up the kill there to the Monkey, giving an assist to Malphite as well.
1-for-1 isn't awful for if blue team can just manage these 1-for-1s and then get a bunch of farm out of it. That's how you get back ahead.
So very fun.
Yeah. In any case, one of the other things we're talking about, Morgana lost some base damage off of her ultimate. It had like really high base damage if you hit both parts of it. Basically 300 damage, at rank 1. And they nerfed that a little bit.
Meanwhile, team fight is going on here in this blue side jungle. And it looks like Aatrox is going to get a nice Q there to be able to take out the Orianna. And he is godlike. Malphite's also going to go down to this. Keep in mind, he also still has his blood well. So even if they lock him down a little bit here, Jinx goes down to the Monkey. So blue team trying to make a little comeback here. Beautiful passage there from Aatrox, and he is just destroying this blue team now.
Yeah, he is 8-0-3. It is Morgana, and that was the thing, like Aatrox keeps hitting really nice knockups. You need to like against an Aatrox, that area, like the travel time on that knockup is pretty far, and the knockup radius is very small. So like when he's hitting 2-man knockups, especially against someone like a Morgana with Black Shield, you just have to work on your positioning a little bit better.
Because they don't really have a good response. Because the best way to take out an Aatrox is to stun him, and we've got an Orianna Malphite for their CC, and they do have Morgana with that bind.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she didn't Black Shield it, she got knocked up, so she wasn't able to bind and walk away, and then, like, her and Ori can stand out of auto-attack range and just kill him.
Jax soloing Dragon here. Jinx comes in for those last couple auto-attacks, but that gold advantage is now a whopping just under 12k in purple team's favor. And now we're going to start to see that because We're getting to that point where that gold advantage is almost a major item. Or in some cases, it's a major item.
A major item per person almost at this point. I mean, like, Aatrox has Randuin's Feral Flare and a Negatron Cloak as well as his Merc Treads done.
Yeah.
Like, he's where you would be happy being at 25 minutes. He is just, and like, that champion scales really well. You have to chain CC him, and like we said, the only non-ultimate CC the blue team really has for him is Morgbind. So she really needs to Morgbind that Aatrox and then burn him down. But you have a bunch of other priority targets. Brom's going to be getting in the way. Windwall's going to be causing a problem.
Yeah.
If you let Yasuo just roam free in your backlines, you're going to die. He's going to ace you because his raw damage potential is very, very high.
And, plus there's always Jax. Jax is the king of cleanup. So
Yeah, well, not only the king of cleanup, like, he's a problem in that he's hard to burst down.
Yep.
But he's also, he also just has insane amounts of long-term sustained damage. So luckily in one of the previous patches they did Malphite
going all in Aatrox. They're going for a Lucian drop here. They are going to put him into that Bloodwell state. The rest of the purple team is going to come here, and we'll see if they can bring down Aatrox.
Aatrox, his patch is popping, but he's still up.
Manages to get out, but Yasuo just dominating this team here with the help of Braum, and this is probably going to be an ace. Wukong does get hit by the zap, and there is the ace. Purple team going to have a strong push here. I wouldn't be surprised if blue team is going to immediately surrender once that 20-minute mark comes out here. But we'll see. Jax is pushing out at this top lane. This is going to be both mid and top turrets down, and if they do proper rotation, they actually might fail to get an inhibitor here at bottom lane. But that's a little rough.
And we were talking about that CC. The team wasn't perfectly in position to take advantage of that Malphite ult over the wall. He also didn't hit the priority targets that he really needed to hit. Like, he hit an Aatrox, but he hit a Braum too. So, like, just ulting Aatrox and Braum when you have, your
really
Jinx and your Yasuo, because that was 5v4.
Yeah.
So, like, when you only have ultimate level CC, it has to hit the priority targets, and they have to die until that CC drops, or shortly thereafter.
Still trying to dance around here a little bit with this bottom lane, and it
good
looks like
wall,
he's doing some nice damage. But
The shard active from Morgana, and that's probably going to be the end of this fight. But they're backing off. Jinx is coming in. She has a red buff. She hits this, dodges the binding,
and she's going
to back off because Monkey's here.
Yep. Beautiful little plays.
But yeah, we can take a look at items. Yasuo's finished his second item, his Blade of the Rune King. We've been seeing that more on Yasuo. It's basically with the change to like Bloodthirster and with the change to kind of lifesteal.
Mega Death Rocket there.
Well, it's because they surrendered.
Oh, okay. There's the surrender. So very, very strong first game here for this purple team, and that is going to be it for our first round, probably. And it looks like we still have 2 games that are finishing out, and unfortunately, we're going to have to wait just a little bit here while that is underway.
Yeah, well, that was the third game, so we only have 1 game. We have C8 Nam versus Vayu Laf. That should be the only game still running. In any case, that game, unfortunately, a little bit one-sided. But, there was some like really good mechanics that were kind of highlighted in there, too. We came in a little bit late, so we didn't get to see the early kills. But when you have ultimate-based CC, your wombo combos, you have to be very, very deliberate with them. You can't just throw them out, you can't just throw them out like, Malphite can just ult over this wall and hopefully we'll be able to make something about it, especially when you're behind. You have to hit priority targets, and you have to hit multiple targets. So unless they're all grouped up, you often almost don't want to force fights, especially if you're behind. You want them to initiate on you, and then hopefully you split them up.
Yep.
You split them up, like, Braum comes into your team, and you like Malphite ult into Yasuo Jinx.
Yes.
Or if you can hit Yasuo Jinx Aatrox with that, and then you follow it up with Noria, lock them down for 3 seconds, get a ton of damage into them, hopefully get that Jinx down and pop that Aatrox passive, and then you can start kiting Yasuo and like really working on cleanup.
But that is the downside of wombo combos. Usually it's kind of a hair trigger when it comes to those sorts of things because usually by the time that you have that set up, you're also at risk of being comboed yourself. And they definitely had a little bit of a wombo combo there with the Aatrox Yasuo Jinx kind of combination going on. And we didn't get to see it into full effect, but we did see quite a bit of Yasuo in like Aatrox Dark Passage into or Dark Flight, I forget what it's called, it's Q, into the Yasuo ultimate
I think he only
combination.
ulted off of the Dark Flight once. Most of the time he was setting itself up, but because like they didn't expect the Dark Flight to hit. So I think it just wasn't, it wasn't like really set up. But Yasuo was setting up most of his things. But they do, that Dark Flight setting up a Yasuo knockup has been good. We've been seeing a lot more Aatrox recently too. I'm not sure, this might just be a change to kind of like they've nerfed a bunch of the junglers. So like the tier 2 junglers, like behind Evelynn, Elise, Lee Sin. And then like Vi was like right close at fourth. For your, those were your premier junglers. These were who you wanted to play. And like they've been trying to reduce their power significantly because they want a wider variety in the jungle, and they want to make it so you can have a jungler that isn't just that early gank master.
Yeah.
That those three are, and Vi is still kind of an early gank master, but she scales really well too.
Yeah, and they've destroyed a lot of the big gank masters that were very popular at the end of Season 3 into Season 4 for a little bit there. Yep. Like, the ones that I clearly remember is Alistar. They absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, they got rid of his jungler.
He is no longer a jungler. Like, it's not effective. And they got rid of a lot of those other big ones, except for like really Lee Sin. Elise has gotten tamed down a little bit there, and a lot of those people that show those really strong early game presence from the jungle into the lanes have really gotten tamed down.
They usually have strong CC.
Yep.
And good mobility.
Yep.
So I think okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting what they're doing with the meta a little bit, and it should be very, very fun to see at Worlds here what exactly is going to go on with the jungling kind of.
I really love Alistar. He's one of the original champions. He's really, really fun. I'm glad, like they reverted him basically back to like early Season 2 changes because he used to, like back early Season 2, had his ultimate give him 70% damage reduction at rank 1. Then they're like, no, this is too OP. He's level 2 mini Malphite ulting people. Like there's the classic, I think it was Season 1 Worlds, where, who was it? Was it Skara? I think it was a Dignitas member. In any case, walks behind the enemy's race, flashes over the wall, and headbutts the enemy's mid into the lane. And, there was literally nothing the enemy mid could do anything about it. So that's, like they wanted to get rid of that. But I love seeing Alistar back. They got rid of his jungle power because that's really where he was most oppressive. Headbutt plus Pulverize was too good. Basically that mini Malphite ult. Or that, if God forbid, like flash Pulverize into not headbutting you away from your tower, you could flash and still die to it.
Okay, so it looks like all of the round 1 games are done here. So we did have Lumpy Space Pirates.
Yeah, Lumpy Space Pirates.
Princess. They managed to come out overhead over the Foop squad. And they will be facing Twisted and Shout Fanfic.
And that's the match we're going to be watching next. Yep. And this will be the top 4, by the way, so we're already into the prizes.
Yep, we're already into the prizes. C8 Nam managed to come out of Vayu Laugh, and Suprise managed to come out ahead due to a disqualification. So, round 2, here we go. We'll be undergoing in just a moment. And keep in mind, everybody here is winning something, so it didn't take that much. Like, you guys should all play in these tournaments. Those of you who are watching, show up. Just get some friends.
What else do you have to do to, from like Saturday from like 12 to 4 or 5 or so, show up, win some RP, play some great games.
Hey, Jason, I want to go watch my Saturday morning cartoons. No.
Saturday morning cartoons still exist?
Yeah, well, probably.
Are you going to yell at me for skateboarding on your lawn next? When did you become a crotchety old man?
Child of the 90s.
Yeah. Anyways.
We're going to play League of Legends some more here, guys. So it's definitely going to be fun. And Lumpy Space Pirates, I'm going to call them that for
the Lumpy Space Pirates
of this stream, because that is, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Lumpy Space Princess is a Adventure Time reference.
I know.
So, but Lumpy Space Pirates, I mean, that's like half Adventure Time, half Firefly, and that might actually be better.
Dated reference. Now who's showing his age? Guardians of the Galaxy is much better.
Guardians of the Galaxy is much better than Firefly? Someone has no taste in anything.
Hey.
Let me guess.
Just saying, we're just like, you were judging me for my age references. Now I'm judging you for your age references.
Firefly isn't dated. Firefly is timeless.
It's like 10 years old now.
So what? Any case, we should be getting into this game, in just a little bit.
Yeah, still setting it up. It looks like we're getting our I's dotted, T's crossed, and that should be underway.
In any case, we can talk about the patch a little bit real quick.
Other than Gnar, which we already kind of discussed a little bit.
Yeah, there was some minor changes. Gragas got a minor quality of life buff in that his body slam, normally these dashes, wherever you target, you go to.
Yeah.
That way you don't over dash. Like Shen's dash, you can shoot too short. Which, there's valuable. There's more control, but it's also a problem. With Gragas dash, because it stops on the first target, they decided that they would make it ease of play. Yeah, they decided they would make ease of play more important than just a little bit more control, basically because he stops. So now that whenever you fire that body slam, it's going to go the full distance. And it still stops when it hits somebody, but if you click right next to your champion for that body slam, you're still going to fire off the full distance.
Kasten, this is more of kind of like a quality of life and it decreases mobility just kind of a little bit. They essentially increase that timer on his Rift Walk where basically, for those of you who don't play Kasten, he ults, he gets this little stack on him, and every time he ults following after that, it costs additional mana, does a little bit more damage.
It doubles the mana cost, and it increases the damage that he does.
But they made it so that it lingers now from 12 seconds to 20 seconds, which essentially makes it so he has to choose a little bit more when he wants to use that mobility.
Yeah, he can't just Rift Walk twice back into lane or Rift Walk twice from lane to lane, and then by the time he's done doing that, or Rift Walk once over a wall, walk into bottom lane, and then his cooldowns reset, he's actually going to have to be a little bit more conscious of when he's using Rift Walk, because, the mana cost gets really big real quick, because it starts at 150, goes to 300, 600, 1200.
And the damage scaling is big, but the mana cost is more relevant.
If you need to Rift Walk away and you can't because you put it up, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So, this is, I will be interesting to see how much of a change and how much of a nerf this is, because this is one of those weird things where they're affecting his power very indirectly, and it's really going to change play styles. Kog'Maw got a little bit of a nerf. That was one of the biggest changes. Ever since the AD carry changes and the nerfs to Lucian, so he's no longer the go-to, I do everything, look at me, we really swapped to these hyper carries. And I think also because
Tristana, Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Tristana and Kog'Maw are the two big ones. Those are the primary ADs we've been seeing a ton of.
Well, that's because, over the course of this season, essentially they changed everything from the game gets decided in the first 10, 15 minutes to the game gets decided usually around 25, 30 minutes, where these hyper carries are starting to get into their prime, because that's just what we've seen with patch after patch. Basically, they've gotten rid of the early game junglers. They increased the turret they decreased the effectiveness of pushing turrets at early levels. Just patch after patch, they've decreased that early game action. So it is still undergoing, and I assure you, we will be getting this game underway here in just a moment. It looks like the lobby is getting all started and ready to go.
Yep.
Meanwhile, just real quick, and we'll go back to discussing this patch notes. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, guys. If you really do like what you see, it does immensely help us out.
Yeah, like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Click those buttons. It really doesn't cost you anything at all.
Blah, blah. You know the drill. I'm sure you've
you
harassed
watch
before,
this stuff enough. You know what's going on, but it really does make a huge difference for our ability to provide these, tournaments for you, keep running them, and give you the best environment you can.
Provide quality content, educational and entertaining, if you will.
Yeah, I provide quality content. He provides arrogant bluster. But I mean, whatever you want.
I'm the entertainment. He's the education.
Sure. But so, anyways, back to education. Kog'Maw lost 5 points of movement speed. He also lost the 25% damage buff against champions on his ultimate. And some of that was just for an AD carry that has some of the highest just DPS in the game. He also had really long range and a ton of utility. So they decided to pull a little bit of his damage off of him, where he could just safely, damage you and kill you from far away with his ultimate. The 5 points of movement speed makes Kog'Maw a little bit more vulnerable and a little bit less of an early lane bully if he gets ahead.
So it looks like in about a few seconds, we're going to be doing Lumpy, a space princess. I'm going to call them pirates. Anyway, versus the Twist and Shout fanfic is going to be this game, and that will be starting here in probably just a few seconds.
Yeah, and Lumpy Space Princess is going to be our blue team.
Yep.
Team 1. So yeah, our Twisted Shout fanfic is purple team, and yeah, it looks like we're yeah, it should be okay. Should be getting into the lobby any second now. But any case, back to the ADC change. I think a lot of it is mid assassins disappeared.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, like you can play Kog'Maw and Trist when they're not just gonna die at 10 to 15 minutes because you know Zed's like, hey. Hey, Kog'Maw, you don't have flash up? I'm going to walk up to you, ult you on cooldown, and you're going to die, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So, you know, with the you know, kind of going away from those those assassin comps, the hyper carries, also the changes to the ADC items, they've been really trying to tweak them, and Bloodthirster was king for a long time. And like the Bloodthirster champions were a little bit different, but now that Infinity Edge is basically the item to build, you know, all the ADCs are building Infinity Edge first. If you're building that insane scaling item first, you want an insane scaling chain.
Okay, so the game is underway. Bans are undergoing. Alistar was the first ban, followed up by Lee Sin and then Maokai. So definitely some early jungle pressure here, except for Alistar. He has been showing a little bit more prevalence as a support, just because he is the CC king. So
you can also play him out of top lane. Yep. You know, that was back again, you know, when he had that 70% ult. Well, there's also, what did they, I think the EU LCS called him Emperor Palpatine Alistar. You build Static Ship first to give you more wave clear and, you know, shooting lightning out of your fingers and stuff. So, in any case, I thought that was pretty cute. But yeah, there's a Static Ship Triforce Alistar build that's like, well,
he always liked Triforce. It's just usually he was support or jungle, where he's just so gold. With those
items, I think he's like kind of a split pusher because nobody can 1v1 like a Static Shift Triforce Alistar. Yeah. Between his CC and his just built-in damage as well as the insane damage he gets off Triforce.
He's got good sustain. Like I'm sorry, his E is like one of the best.
I mean, also don't forget he gets a bajillion attack damage. It's like 60 attack damage or 65 attack damage from his ultimate at rank 1. Yeah. It's insane. So Alistar, I really like what he's done. He mixed up the support game. Our other bans, real quick though, Lulu, Wukong, and Morgana. These are all pretty standard. Wukong's a little bit surprising.
Morgana, she did get some nerfs here, but she's been very popular.
Yeah. Black Shield is a unique ability, and it really counters those hard engage supports. So
first picks, though, real quick, because we are going fairly quickly through this. Aurelia, OP, nerf Aurelia.
Yeah, we better, you know, Kog'Maw's OP, better nerf Aurelia.
And then we got Thresh for the support here, and we have J4 probably in the jungle, but he could be top lane as well.
There's even been some J4 mids. He dumps on your conventional AP. Like, Orianna tries to do anything, and he's just like, I'm going to EQ you, and, you know, then slow you, and now I have a shield, so I'm out trading you. You're slowed, and my I'm getting my passive procs on you. He just really bullies the crap out of conventional mids.
And it looks like it's going to be Yasuo versus
it should be Yasuo
and Nami, so...
Yep. We can hope. I would love to see a Blitzcrank. He really isn't the best support, but he is one of the most exciting supports because the plays he can make is really excellent. I think Trist is a better pick here. With Thresh being locked in already, they have plenty of time to pick their support. It probably will be Nami. But there's no need to pick it now. You know, they would much rather pick up these Yasuo Trists. Both of these are very coveted picks right now.
Yeah, Tristana is that amazingly strong hyper carry. At that late game, she just has massive range, of crazy steroids, and the ability to reposition in a team fight once that kills start happening.
Yeah, your ADC being able to have the highest range in the game, so she can stay safe. And then as soon as she kills the bruiser that's diving her, she can jump into the fight with the second longest range ADC dash or jump in the game. You know, so she can kill the bruiser, jump in, kill the midline, or if she can get to like you know, a squishy AP or something, get another reset, and then, you know, she just cleans up the fight.
But she also does have that ultimate too to help reposition that team fight a little bit, especially when those bruisers, like we're gonna see Fiora and J4 and Thresh, we're gonna see them go for her at those late game team fights, try and jump on her, and she's just gonna ult them away. Like I almost guarantee we'll see a J4 Cataclysms, she punches them out.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's I mean, she's the whole package when it comes to late game. She's been receiving a lot of bans. Might see a Gnar. I would love to see a Gnar up top. What would be up top? It would be out of the jungle? It'd have to be out of the jungle unless it's Aurelia jungle. That would be crazy.
Garen,
we're getting trolled at this point.
Yeah, we're getting trolled.
I would love to see a Garen. Last time we casted, I made a comment about Aatrox, and then they rubbed it in my face. And he has been coming back. Really.
The only reason why we say we're being trolled is I have seen Gnar in the jungle. He is incredibly slow right now.
Yeah.
Like, he is very slow. So unless it's Yasuo in the jungle, okay, this is a little bit more reasonable, but no,
like we said, we're getting trolled. These are the kind of picks you expect. Vi is great with Yasuo because her Assault and Battery is guaranteed knockup to get Yasuo in there, and she also has that AoE knockup on her Bolt Breaker. So she has double knockups to power up Yasuo. Nami Bubble, only ability in the game that counts as a knockup, but it's really a stun.
Yep.
It gets affected by tenacity like stuns do, and it's technically mechanically a stun, but Yasuo can ult onto it. So, she also has her wave, which is a knockup. Tristana's displacement. There's actually, another thing too. Anything that displaces you. So that Tristana Buster Shot, there's a pretty small window. It's like half a second where Yasuo can actually ult them.
He basically has to be spam clicking his
R. He doesn't have to be spam clicking, but he has to be ready to push that button when Trist ults.
I would like to point out one thing that is very relevant is they are all AD, which means like there is definitely a lot of workarounds. Like Aurelia, she has a lot of true damage, and Yasuo has a lot of armor pen.
Yeah, if he gets that ult, but it's it's only when he gets that ultimate up. So and generally there's enough things for him to be ulting right at the beginning of this fight. So
the name of the game is build armor, guys. Here for purple.
Yeah, if we hit 40 minutes. And blue team isn't way ahead, this could be a huge problem simply because, there's going to be like 3 Randuins and,
or
Sunfire
builds
Cape
like Thornmails.
And a couple Thornmails. Thornmail isn't that powerful because, Tristan, it's pretty good. You really want attack speed slows against all these people, though. Like, we're going to see the Randuins and the Frozen Hearts. Those are really what you want because Trist gets...
Thornmail is only really good for Tristana.
Yeah, it's great against Tristana. It's good against Yasuo, but because he gets a lot of his damage off of his Q, it's less effective.
Yep.
For that damage return. And Aurelia is still going to be doing 75 true damage a hit, which is why that attack speed slow is going to be that better damage mitigation. Vi actually scales really well off attack speed too. She has those denting blows, which gives her an attack speed boost, and is massive single target damage every third attack. So when you're slowing down those third attacks, she's going to get that steroid less and do less damage to you.
So the game is actually underway while we are speaking, but we are going through that 3-minute delay to prevent any sorts of cheating or ghosting, anything like that. So
it's just a standard tournament, thing. So we're going to talk about these teams a little bit. Fiora's been popping up a lot more too.
She is strong, especially with Hydra into that Blade Wall. She does provide a lot of damage to her team. Plus, she has like one of the best steroids in the game.
Her attack speed steroid is really insane. She has a double dash.
Yeah.
Her ultimate makes her invulnerable and does a lot of damage, especially with Hydra. I think she's showing up more. It might just be like kind of a flavor of the month rotation. It might be some of the mechanics. I think she's showing up because of that Hydra D-nerf. Hydra active was doing less damage.
Yep.
Significantly less damage than it was supposed to. They fixed it, and suddenly, Fiora, who Hydra is an essential item. Building, Fiora without Hydra is pretty much insane.
Wave clear without Hydra.
Her wave clear is awful. It's insane in team fights. If there's 2 or 3 people grouped up, she gets the Hydra proc on every one of her Blade Waltz.
Yeah, and she just destroys teams. Like, you guys have probably seen those videos where Fiora is just like, I'm going through a 1v5, and she does like a Master Yi-esque, I just killed your team.
Yeah, you all grouped up. Or, like the Ori ult into grouping them up into the Fiora ult, which just shreds them. Because she's getting like 3 times the intended damage off of her ultimate.
Yeah.
If they're grouped up and she's hitting multiple people with that Hydra proc. Or not the Hydra proc, rather, the Hydra passive splash damage.
But it is a little bit of a wombo combo if we're deciding to go that route here with Purple Team, just because we do have Ziggs and Fiora as the heart of a lot of their damage, with Lucian as kind of that, AD carry. Yeah. But J4 does provide a lot of burst. J4 is like one of the burstiest champs I know when it comes to that top and jungly sort of thing, just because his passive, his EQ combo into that ultimate is like usually about half to 2/3 of a champion's life until you get to that late game. But
Yeah, if you're hitting everything, you can really just, it's harder to hit as a knockup ever since, like he was one of the primary junglers, and then they nerfed the knockup radius. So it's actually a little bit harder to hit that. Lucian is the ADC picked up here. I'm surprised. I expect that Purple Team just doesn't play Cog.
Yep.
I expect that's just the thing, because I really expected to see Cog here. He's very strong. He actually has a great lane matchup against Tristana because he gets his range at level 9, his max range, and he way outranges Tristana at level 9. And Tristana doesn't get that range to really compete with him until she's like level 15 or 16. So
and Ziggs is still one of the kings of wave clear and allowing people to split push. So I'm sure we'll see that sort of combination where Ziggs just puts immense amount of pressure on mid or bottom lane, probably mid, while Lucian just tries to like.
We're gonna see a great split push comp here. Pushing into Ziggs, even like 5v4, is very, very difficult because his wave clear and his poke is insane. That's what he's known for. And Fiora is one of the best 1v1 champions out there right now because she has the invulnerability off of her ultimate. It does a lot of damage. She has that that parry. The parry riposte, so she gets to negate an auto attack coming in as well as deal damage back. She is, and she was built to be an awesome duelist, and she is a very, very strong duelist right now. So once you build that Hydra, she has great split push power, and they have great anti-split push wave clear with Ziggs, and Lucian isn't bad either. He can ult those waves.
Yeah.
And like if he can get close enough to Q a wave, that plus Ziggs, it's completely gone. He's gonna have trouble getting close enough because he's gonna get assault and batteried, or he has to really watch for that Nami bubble.
Okay, so it looks like the game is underway here, and it should make for some interesting things going on in all the right places. So it looks like we're going to have some interesting jungle action possibly here. I really want to see blue team. Looks like they're going to try and converge, but it looks like they might be just playing safe as well.
They're probably just going to split up and play it. This looks like a pretty normal standard, like defend all the river entrances opening. Just get your junglers started, get to level 3, and then really start making plays instead of these level 1 openings. No one has a really insane level 1. Nami's bubble is very good at level 1, but it hurts her tremendously in lane. She really wants to start either with Tide Color's Blessing for poke. If you outrange your opponent, like Nami Kate with Tide Color's Blessing is really powerful. Otherwise, you want to start with heal, just so you can start sustaining right away. And her heal is a great poke against when her AD carry doesn't outrange the enemy's AD carry. But Thresh has a good level 1 as well. J4 obviously can't knock anyone up to level 2. So his level 1 is way, way weaker than many others who have like good CC like J4 normally does.
As far as items go, everybody's going very standard. Yasuo did decide to go with that long sword instead of the Doran's blade, and Aurelia does have
surprised
the
about this crystalline flask. We'll see how it works out, but I don't know about this. She has teleport. So, I don't like Crystalline Flask without teleport is basically where I'm at. But Fiora has Ignite. So, she is way behind on stats. She's basically already committed at this point to, if, Fiora has Dorn's Blade and Ignite, Aurelia is committed to losing this lane already unless she gets great ganks. Yep. She's just committed to outsustaining and farming, and I don't think she outscales Fiora. I think she needs to win this lane. So we're going to see how this works out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll play differently or something like that, but I think you're going to run into a huge problem with this first pick Aurelia just not being able to do much against this Doran's Blade Fiora.
A little bit of stunning action, but the trading has begun. But keep in mind, we will be seeing those probably around 3-minute ganks here up at this top lane, but I think top lane is going to be where a lot of the action's at, unless Thresh can hit a hook here at bottom.
And so Aurelia definitely knows how to play against this Fiora. She started stun, and that's on a really low cooldown, so that's going to help her win these trades tremendously. Both of them already low, and Aurelia is going to win this because she has way more sustain. Stuns a minion. That's really bad.
Yeah.
That's a huge loss for her. She needs that mana. Every bit of mana is very important in this matchup because Fiora doesn't really use a lot of mana to trade.
Okay, they're trading some more. Fiora forces the flash out of Aurelia there with that second charge on that.
Yeah, but the ridiculous thing about that is Fiora's, both of their sustain requires them to be auto-attacking minions.
Yeah.
And so Fiora still has Ignite. Fiora didn't use any summoners, and Aurelia flashed. So this is really, really bad.
J4 gank coming in, manages to force her into the lane deeper. She does get the stun off, Ignite goes off, and Aurelia is going to give a first blood to Fiora. So that's going to be a huge win here for Fiora up in the top lane. And now she might be able to just no longer require ganks just because Aurelia did decide to go with that crystalline.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Well, and like we said, Aurelia committed to losing, to losing these lanes, then didn't ward and got ganked by J4. I don't know. Vi showed up late. I don't know what she did. Maybe she farmed more.
She did catch Fiora and gets the kill, also burning the flask.
Wow. Okay, that is huge because Aurelia's already back in lane. So Aurelia's actually going to be able to catch up after this.
She will have a level advantage, is what I expect.
Yeah, she's going to have a pretty big XP advantage, but J4 is going to have a pretty nice level advantage here from that creep wave he got over Vi. And there's a fight going on.
Oh man, beautiful gank there, and it looks like
red buff burn plus I think it was an ignite from Yasuo. Yeah, yep. Ignite from Yasuo finishes off Ziggs. So Vi, making plays, really just doing everything, and like Fiora shouldn't have been going back there. That was a bad idea. She didn't have a ward down. She didn't know where Vi was, and Vi obviously was able to combo her.
Yep. And right now, Vi is like 100% for her ganking potential. It looks like she's gonna keep it up. And all 3 ganks so far, 3 kills.
Vi is doing insane damage right now. Is she running like AD runes or something? You want to click on her real quick?
Let's take a look.
Let's see what she's running on runes.
She is
85 attack damage. Yeah, I think she's got to be running attack damage.
Fiora did manage to get the kill on Aurelia once again here at top lane, and that's going to be enough to seal the deal because Aurelia is going to be so far behind. She hasn't participated in either one of these kills.
Yeah, she didn't get that. She didn't get to participate in that kill that Vi got. So unfortunately, Vi's either going to have to resign to like top lane getting obliterated, or she's going to have to. Yeah, she's going to have to set up a very nice tent. Not like one of those crappy like 2-man mountaineering tents. We're talking, tent cabin here.
Yeah, no, one of those RVs that is like a
small truck. Like you need power, you need a hot tub in there. Like it's gonna be big. She's got to do some serious damage up there to get Aurelia back into this, because Aurelia bought boots. She has cloth armor and boots versus Fiora's double Doran's double longsword. As soon as she gets those brutalizers,
and here's the gank at bottom lane. It does miss the knockup. Vi also coming up with the counter gank here. And it looks like she is going to keep going. Does some nice damage here to Ziggs. Takes a tower hit. J4 comes back in, does a little bit of poke, and that's going to be enough to force Vi probably back into her jungle. So
yeah, she's out of potion, so she's going to be down at half health. J4 is still here. I don't know. He's going to be able to...
Dash misses the knockup, and that's going to be enough for him to run away. Vi comes back in, flashes, misses the Vault Breaker, but she is still chasing. It looks like she had a little bit of a pathing error there. Decides to head back.
Yeah, misses the Flash Vault Breaker. I don't know if it was a dead J4. He had his Flash. I think it would have been J4's Flash if she had hit that Vault Breaker, because she's going to get that combo. Wow!
Beautiful double Q at bottom lane, and that's going to be a lot of damage here on Lucian, taking some pretty substantial poke, mainly from that Nami ebb and flow and the E there. Just doing some really solid poke damage there on Lucian, and that might be enough to get Trist into this mid game, even though, did she participate? She does have 2 assists, so... Where was the second assist?
They double killed bottom.
Oh.
I don't know when this happened. We only saw one of them. We only saw the Murder Thresh. Rocket and Murder Thresh. They must have killed Lucian.
Missed the Lucian. My bad.
Yeah, Lucian
Sorry
died.
about that.
So, well, I mean, there's a lot of action going on. There's a lot of stuff to be paying attention to. The junglers are being very, very active, which is good. And it's not a completely one-sided game either. There's only 600 gold lead for blue team.
Yeah.
And despite them having a gold lead, like I would much rather have my opponents have 500 gold on top of me and have my top laner be able to do what Fiora is doing right now, where she's literally just zoning Aurelia out of XP.
Yeah.
And with the XP range change, it's hard to zone champions out of XP. You can stand pretty far away and still get that experience.
A little bit of jungle action going on here. This is what's going to happen. Vi, I assume she's going to try and go for this. He did burn the flash. She misses the Vault Breaker, though. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Cloverblood. I expect that Vi is just not a comfort champ for him.
Yeah.
It must just be not a comfort champ. That's the only thing that makes sense, because we've seen he misjudged the range on Flash Vault Breaker. It was close, but not that close.
Yeah.
And he just didn't Vault Breaker over the wall. And did it too late. I don't, it's very possible, even when the Vault Breaker finished, J4 would have finished that last auto attack and gotten that blue buff.
Yep.
So, you know,
and he even smote pretty early there. Like,
yeah, he smited early. That steal was right for the taking, but I think she just must not be comfortable on this fight. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You can't be a master of all 120-some champs.
Shut up! Impossible. I can dream.
You can dream about doing lots of things, but you can't do it. In any case,
meanwhile, top lane Fiora did decide to go back. Looks like she's going to be buying us some goodies here, including that brutalizer, which is a pretty big.
Yeah, like as soon as that brutalizer's done, like
Aurelia does have ninja.
Yeah, she has a ninja tabi, but it doesn't.
But brutalizer is very strong. Nami hits a nice Q there on the Thresh here at bottom lane. And Yasuo looks like he's also going back. Looks like he's going to buy Average Blade, a Vampiric Scepter for a little bit of sustain. So, decide to tame down here a little bit. We're only at 6 kills in 9 minutes.
Am I incorrect? Does the crit cloak actually build into? Oh wow, Fiora's getting poked really hard, and this is, you know, Vi might be setting up this temp that she needed to. Fiora's gonna go back after this, and she's gonna miss a big wave. Good hook hit on Nami though. I thought.
Gonna be some solid damage, but this does allow Tristana to put in some solid damage here.
Yeah,
but J4 comes in from the back, Cataclysm goes down, and Lucian gets the kill there on Nami. And some big damage into a giant flay is going to be enough to force all of the summoners out of Tristana.
Yeah, they used the heal just for back up. Lucian was very low off of creeps, actually. That's why he ended up having to heal. But yeah, that fight didn't go well because Nami missed her bubble on Lucian just barely, and then Lucian flashed through Tidal Wave. So all of Nami's CC, you know, hit Thresh, but didn't hit Lucian, and you need to be hitting Lucian with that.
He wasn't forced to flash it. She just lined it up poorly.
Oh, sorry, he didn't even flash it. He relentless assaulted it. I thought I heard the flash. I must have heard the flash noise from someone else, or otherwise, you know, just mistaken it, but he relentless assaulted it. So even better, he just dodged all of Nami's CC with basically moving and relentless assault, which is very powerful. And
Aurelia did manage to get the kill here up at top lane finally, and so she's not out yet, guys. She's still in there.
That's really impressive. Fiora's Ignite wasn't up, but she did Blade Waltz during that fight. She must have fought in a pile of creeps or something.
Yep. Meanwhile, blue team is going to go for this dragon. That is going to bring him into a pretty strong gold advantage here.
That should be about, you know, about 1,500 gold. Yep, a little bit more, almost 2,000 now.
Yep, almost 2, and that should be pretty solid for him.
But 3 of them are rotating bottom. There's going to be an interesting fight down there. Because Vi is here. Hits the Vault Breaker. This is going to be a dead Thresh. Actually, the bubble hits Thresh, so they kill it off.
Lucian is going to be able to get out of
a lot of trust from Vi, because if Nami missed that bubble on Thresh, and I don't think it was guaranteed at that point. Oh no, we're
having some connection issues here. I'm not sure if it's server side or
on our
if it's
end,
just our end.
But spectator data unavailable. Okay.
Yep, we're going to try and reload here. Some certain issues going on here, and it's probably a server-side issue. I'm not sure if they went down for maintenance. It happens sometimes, and usually what happens is there's some sort of disconnect, and it looks like our game is reloading, but
yeah, we should be able to
there might be some issues, because sometimes when it happens once, it happens again. So we apologize for this technical difficulties, but this is the problem of not using the Riot servers. Is we are at their mercy.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not going to give out the LAN client. We couldn't do this tournament on LAN client anyway. So you know, it's technical difficulties happen. They happen at LCS, so we've gotten really good at.
But it looks like we will be able to get back in. So.
Yeah. And you know, this mid matchup kind of going as we expect. Yasuo versus Ziggs. The farm is actually pretty even. Yasuo's pretty good bullying Ziggs. And Ziggs actually built Chalice. That's a little bit surprising. He does need a mana item, and it is one of the better mana items, but it's gotten some nerfs. And keep in mind, this is against an all AD team, so that magic resist is going to be almost completely worthless. He might have just been better off buying Tyr. That item is actually very good on him. And the Seraph's Embrace shield. That shield would be invaluable in later game team fights. So I think that might be a minor mistake, just not realizing that there's no magic damage. Like, Trist's Buster Shot is the highest magic damage ability on the enemy team.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does some damage, but she's unlikely to be Buster Shotting Ziggs.
Nami has a little bit of magic damage, but she's really not known for her sustained
her base magic damage isn't very good.
No.
I think the next highest ability is either Nami's Bubble or Aurelia's Stun.
Yeah.
So, there's no magic damage coming out from these people. Well, that's not true. No, Yasuo's Yeah,
he's all physical.
No, his because what's it called? Static Shiv is magic game. Like a significant amount of the magic damage coming out from this team is going to be static Shiv.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of relevant for Ziggs, but again, you're just much better off building armor. And here we see he's going to be building that Zonia's right away, and that's very smart. But I would have built Tyr instead of Chalice. It doesn't give you as much lane sustain if you're staying there for a very long time, but it gives you much more of that mana capacity, which Ziggs really likes. If you're fighting medium duration fights, Tyr is going to be much better than Chalice, because it takes a long time for that Chalice mana to really catch up.
Both of the junglers there were trying to position for a gank at bottom lane, but it looks like the situation kind of diffused, even though Vi is kind of having trouble deciding which lane she wants to gank more, and that is either the mid or the bottom, but she's just kind of bouncing around. Meanwhile, at top lane, they're trading it out a little bit, and it looks like Aurelia is finally...
and she's gotten a couple ganks, and she won that 1v1, which is really impressive. So winning with teleport is very, very strong. I think it's just that stun. Anytime Fiora goes in, you stun, you get an auto attack, and then you...
And she manages to get the turret. J4 looks like he is going for the gank.
Dead Aurelia.
He did burn his EQ combo, so it's going to be a few seconds before it's back up. She is going to have the stun.
Oh, Vi is here. This is going to be a great fight.
Big Blade Wall comes in. Aurelia is going to go down, though, very quickly, but Vi just drawing out so much damage.
I think she's going to... the red slow is off, so, yep.
Fiora manages to get away there with a nice flash, and so...
Flashing that Vault Breaker. So 1 for 1. Not bad. Aurelia did die, which is good for Fiora, but she's going back. Also, keep in mind, Fiora hadn't bought in a while.
Yep.
She had the same items, and she doesn't... if she had that Tiamat with, if she had that Tiamat there, it would have been way more damage.
Big good stun on from Lucian. And there's the wave on beautiful play to stop the Tristana, but it's not enough to save the Lucian. And another nice box. So Thresh doing all he can there to try and save his Lucian, but unfortunately just not enough.
And that was all Nami. Nami making amazing plays. Hitting that stun on Lucian, he probably should have done something to dodge it, but then walking and hitting both of them with that tidal wave, very, very powerful. So even though Thresh was on point with that knockback, it didn't matter.
Yeah, he did a really great job of interrupting. It was just too little too late because, the damage had already been done, so...
Yeah, J4 is showing up bottom. I guess he's just going to farm with this Thresh, but, this isn't...
By your Thresh.
Yeah, anyways, that's enough.
That's enough of that.
But yeah, so, I guess I, really miscalled it, and maybe it's just Vi, she didn't need to set up as much of a camp as I thought she was going to. This matchup isn't as bad for Aurelia as I thought it was, and I'm sure it just has everything to do with that stun.
Yep. She is slowly getting the components of her Trinity Force, and once that comes out, Aurelia becomes a little bit of a burst monster, but she'll be getting a little bit more tanky as this goes on, and it looks like she's already bullying Fiora just a little bit here.
Yeah, and Fiora's not even auto attack trading with her when walking back, so I'm not, I'm a little bit... a little bit cautious. Maybe she's not super comfortable on Fiora, or maybe she just thinks she cannot win trades at all. But she really relies on her passive to win those trades, and you only get those passive stacks by auto attacking enemy champions. Otherwise, you get 1 stack from attacking
minions
from minions and monsters. But to get those 4 stacks, to get that really good long-term sustain, you really just need to be hitting lots of auto attacks on champions.
Yep, for sure. Meanwhile, mid lane has been the tamest lane so far.
And that's not that surprising.
Yeah.
This is a classic season 4 meta matchup.
Yeah.
Yasuo puts a lot of pressure on Ziggs, which is important. So he stops Ziggs from being able to roam.
Ziggs might be getting caught here.
Yasuo
takes some big damage. Nice satchel charge, but he does go down to Yasuo. So, and that's going to be a little rough.
Yeah, and Yasuo has mobility, but with that Tricolor's blessing on him too, no way Ziggs is getting away.
It looks like blue team is going to be able to get the dragon here uncontested, especially with Nami hitting the bubble there. And it looks like Yasuo is going for it. Ultimate there from Nami forces flashes across the board. Lucian is going to go down here along with J4. Blue team is going for the dive here on Thresh. Box goes down. Vault Breaker misses. Wave hits though. And double kill for the Tristana. This is going to be bad news bears for blue team.
Yeah, this is...
Or purple team, rather.
Yeah, this is massive scaling, and that teleport from Aurelia, again, teleport is a much more powerful summoner spell late game.
Yep.
Than Ignite, just because it allows you to, and mid game especially too, where you see this, you get to TF into a fight or Shen into a fight, and really just change a fight that could have gone great for an enemy to going awful. And Fiora should get this top tower off of it. I'm not positive, but she should. She should know there's no pressure. But they got the bottom inner turret, which is very great for blue team. And they have a 8,000 gold lead now. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty big with those 2 turrets and the dragon.
Yeah, and a lot of this has been Vi's presence. I think a lot of it came off of, truthfully, I think a tremendous amount of this game was decided by that great Vi play. Just coming in and killing that Fiora early after she got that 1v1 kill on Aurelia. It set Fiora behind.
Yeah.
And it got, you know, just got her ahead. Got her to start snowballing. Because you get 1 kill on your jungler and you can get, you're basically like almost a full jungle clear, like, ahead.
Yeah.
And that just makes a huge
massive
difference.
level difference.
Yeah.
And it's just really good gold too, because everybody knows.
Yeah, well, junglers, you know, their gold path is pretty well set. So if you can get that 1 kill, while it can, you know, like for a laner, it can make the difference of getting to that big item faster. For a jungler, getting that jungle item faster is just insanely invaluable. It speeds up your clear tremendously, and it gives you a lot more gold because of how the conservation stacks work. You just get to start conservation stacking earlier. But, you know, Vi, she seemed a little bit off on her mechanics, but she's been making tremendous amounts of plays this game. You know, just really been everywhere and just making, you know, the jungle presence, the jungle strategy is excellent.
Mid lane, lots of damage going out here. Fiora looks like she wanted to go all in there, but she got locked down a little bit by Aurelia. Vi did rotate in here. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of pressure at mid, because both Nami and Tristana are going to be rotating here. But keep in mind, they are going to be facing off with Ziggs, who has like the greatest wave clear known to man.
Yeah, he's, you know, if there's 3 or 4 people showing up, and he's pinging real hard about mid, if there's 3 or 4 people showing up, he needs another person to support him. But, you know, he can hold this against like 2 people basically all day. They're setting up, no, they're just screwing around, clearing Baron, getting
making
vision.
sure vision is controlled at Baron here. It looks like purple team is rotating around here, trying to just kind of find this blue team, figure out what's exactly going on.
And this is going to be another 2v2, which I think is going to end up really bad up top. Thresh is coming up, but I think he's going to be too late to do anything besides make sure that everyone gets out alive.
Fiora manages to get away, and purple team is going to live to fight another day. Nami is rotating as well. Yasuo and Trist are all coming
we're going to
up.
see a big fight over this tower unless purple team just retreats off of it. Fiora can't go back here. She's just going to have to rely on her ultimate to live. Oh,
beautiful
nice
Thresh hook is going to be enough to start this fight. Aurelia taking some big damage. Ziggs ultimate only hits a couple, and Aurelia looks like she is going to be able to get away. Vi manages to pick up the kill there on J4. Fiora goes down to Yasuo. Big Q there from Ziggs. We'll see if he can be able to clean house here. Flashes to try and keep up, misses the Q. Now he's overextended, goes down, and Tristana gets the kill. Blue team all alive with just slivers of health, and purple team is down except for Thresh.
Yeah, and J4 hit a great knockup on Aurelia. She was almost dead. Then he doesn't dunk her. And she manages to get another stun. Her stun cooldown comes up, and then she walks away. She lived that fight when they got the catch on her. I think he just needed to go all in. Because when he did it, because he actually used his jump on someone else, and it only does damage to the person he targets with it. So I don't remember who he targeted. I think it was Vi, but I'm not positive. In any case, he jumped on someone that wasn't Aurelia, doesn't get the damage on her, doesn't finish her off, and she still has that crystalline flats. So she, you know, she was healing up off of that, so she managed to get back up to like 300, 400 hit points when she was at around 100, and that dunk, you know, that level 2 dunk out of J4 would have just killed her.
Another couple major points from that was Ziggs only managed to hit 2 people with his ultimate, which is very unfortunate because that probably would have been enough damage to kill maybe 2 more people there.
Yeah, they were all very low. So, well, and keep in mind, too, if he had just dunked right away, I think he gets 2 or 3 people caught in that ult anyways.
Yep.
So they kill Aurelia, they get 1 or 2 other people caught. He's splitting up the fight. So, yeah, I think a lot of that was just G4 was very hesitant. He was saving that ult when he should have just been, like, lower up. And maybe he just thought, she's dead, I don't have to waste it. But, you know, it's Aurelia. She's very slippery. So I think he should have just, you know, ulted her right away. Would have been good. And then I think that fight would have gone way differently.
And right now, this Nami has been playing top-notch. Like, I haven't seen her miss, like, a bubble at all. So right now, you should play with the expectation that she is going to land the bubble, which, knowing that, Ziggs went a little strong on that try and clean up there.
Yeah, that flash in, you know, like when you're behind and your team's split
like,
up.
He had a lot of health, don't get me wrong, but when you're facing 4 people, if you get CC'd, you're done.
Yeah, 4 people, especially with the damage they have. You know, Aurelia, Yasuo, if you get stunned, you're dead. Yeah, you're just straight dead. Like, it doesn't matter how much health you have, especially because you don't have a lot of resistances. Again, he bought that, he has Zonia's Hourglass, but he has a lot of his money invested into that Chalice, which is literally just a mana item in this match.
He doesn't have that crazy cooldown reduction, which he really wants, and he doesn't have that, like, massive damage that he has quite yet that you really want out of that Ziggs. Like, Zonia's provides a solid amount of damage, but you mainly get it for the utility. Like, there is some solid AP on it, but Cat always beats out every time in terms of that damage. Blue team manages to get the dragon. Now they're just asserting their dominance because their map control is absurd.
After obliterating that last team fight, and they were ahead already, but now their control is basically, it's their game to lose. They have this well in control. They know they have the positioning. They have the vision they need. They're just gonna walk around the map. They're probably gonna take those last 2 towers, the non-inhibitor towers, because that's just another 2,000 free gold for them.
Yeah, blue team basically has the entire purple side jungle warded.
Yep, and that's exactly where they want it warded, because that's where they're going to be living right now. They want to be living on the enemy side of the jungle, strangling them out, taking away their jungle camps, stopping them from being able to farm carefully and safely.
Yeah. And it shows this gold advantage is slowly creeping more and more in their control, even though it's already at just over 11k in blue team's favor here. Purple, it looks like we are going to see a little bit of a siege action kind of going on here. Blue team, it looks like they want to try and put pressure on, go for that Baron, play it safe, the standard, Baron dance.
They should be pressuring Baron or pressure. They're going to be pressuring these buffs, which I think is very smart, because they can win fights 5v5 easy. They also...
Ziggs gets caught. But he does manage to Zonia some of the damage. We'll see if he lanterns out, and beautiful. That actually burned 2 ultimates there. And
Yasuo is on a pretty low cooldown. Aurelia's going very deep. She's good. No, she manages to flash out. She might die.
I have no idea how Fiora managed to get out of there, but Ziggs manages to pick up the kill there because they went so deep on that jungle. Thresh manages to land a flash play, but a big Nami wave is going to knock up a lot of people. Double kill here for Ziggs. Thresh does go down to 5, but now Lucian has joined the fray. Ziggs is trying to follow it up here, misses a Q. Let's do a little damage to Vi.
Yeah, that's okay, but yeah, like, they got a great catch and they got a kill, but it took them a little bit too long, and so they get 2 kills for only losing Thresh there, which is exactly what they want to do.
Fiora's blade waltz was absurd how much damage it mitigated. It kept her alive, and then she managed to get back to the turret and flash away. Well, not even flash. It was just insane. I fully expected her to be dead as soon as she came out
that's Fiora's real strength. Is it's just like she gets to go hard, burn all of her burst on you, and then like when you try and go on her, she's just like, I'm gonna push my ultimate, be immune, and do a ton of damage to your team. And so it's like positioning against Fiora is really rough. So that is a great recovery.
It didn't chunk that gold advantage too much. It got rid of. It's still like 9k, which is not. It is better.
But we're getting at 25 minutes, under 10k. Like the longer the game goes, and that's exactly what they needed. They also bought themselves breathing room to farm to get into that late game because they were getting strangled, as we saw.
Yep. The biggest thing is they did eliminate a lot of that vision control here from blue team. Like the entire blue side of this purple team. The blue buff side of purple team is pretty much cleared of wards. So you just have that Baron dance that you have to deal with a little bit. Purple team does realize it's going on, I think.
Yeah, they have a ward. So, they know it's going on. Chris is bottom too, so they definitely should be trying to contest this. But they're rotating a little late.
Back up in like 10 seconds. Alright.
Yeah, I don't know. This is really dangerous. They shouldn't do this.
Oh gosh, Five manages to go. Fiora doesn't have the ultimate. Lucian culling goes down, but half of it does get blocked by that wind wall. Now purple team is pushed back on their back foot.
This wave is really powerful.
Wave, and that's going to be enough to slow them up. Allow blue team to catch up. Five manages to land the Vault Breaker. There's the Q from Nami. Manages to pick up Thresh. Ziggs is a dead man. Double kill going to Yasuo. Purple team still trying to hold on to this, but blue team just a strong push. Looks like they're going to head back and grab this Baron, even though J4 might be able to steal this still.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like, they took some damage from Baron, and purple team got themselves out of position. They ended up getting wrapped around, and most importantly, Fiora didn't get her blade waltz off. They needed that bad. She should have just been spamming that button. And that's something that she really, was really rough. Like you were talking about, she managed to get out of it last time.
Yeah.
But this time she wasn't able to, and they just CC locked her.
And I'm going to give a lot of props to this Nami this game.
Yeah, she's really been on top of everything.
She has been on top of so much. She's hit 3 amazing waves that I have seen, for sure. So, just really on the ball with everything she's done so far. Anyway, purple team just trying to farm out this jungle. That Baron does put blue team firmly in control of this game once again. Vision is still very strongly in their favor. They have massive control of the riverside. Purple team only has a couple wards on the map. And with that Baron buff, the goal advantage is about 14k in blue team's favor, which is starting to get rough again. So, taking a quick look at the items, Yasuo, Trist both have those Blade of the Rune King followed with Infinity
Yeah, they have their
Edges.
3. Yeah, they basically have mirrored items at this point. Yeah, they're Bork, i.e. Static Shiv, along with attack speed boots. So.
Very strong. Aurelia, she's starting to get a lot of those tanky items. She has that Frozen Heart. Looks like she's going to be getting, I would expect it to be the, not Force of Nature, the other one. Spirit Visage.
Spirit Visage.
But it could be a Banshee's Veil. Hard to say.
Veil is pretty good. She's going to be taking damage consistently during the fight, so that the passives on Banshee's Veil is worth a lot of hit points. And she doesn't get a ton off of the Spirit Visage passive, the 20% healing.
Blue team just sieging up this mid turret like they should, abusing that Baron buff. Taking a quick look at the purple team items before this fight breaks out, because it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're just going to siege down these two turrets.
Oh.
That wind wall, that wind wall basically stops Ziggs from clearing creeps. So whenever that wind wall is up, they can basically push pretty safely.
Fiora is full glass cannon with that Ravenous Hydra into the Last Whisper and a Brutalizer, so she has absolutely no tank. I really would like to see her with like a Warden's Mail at the very least.
I think it's GA.
GA? Yeah. Yeah, that's
I think she's a GA champion. I would love to I think that might be her next item. She has her core damage build.
Yep, we do have
for Brutalizer, so
we do have Randuin's here from J4, followed up by that Spirit of the Elder Lizard and a Chain Vest. So he is starting to get that tankiness that we know and love. Lucian still really far behind in terms of items. So he's
Trist
working
has
on
3,
that
and he doesn't even have that Triforce yet. And it is one of the most expensive items in the game. But it is, he's still way behind, and a lot of that's just simply Trist is 518 while he is 153.
Yep, and Ziggs just has that Zonius and finally finished that Athene, so he does have that massive CDR, but keep in mind, blue team...
Here comes the wind wall, and this will be another turret, just like we said. We're just gonna take down these, just push down all these things with Baron, get more and more ahead. They're at 16,000 gold in the lead.
And if you're paying attention to the map at all, they've slowly moved up their ward line, and it is now very strongly in their favor. They can pretty much monitor every entrance except for one, really, into the jungle, and that is that one kind of by the wolf camp. So.
And I would not be surprised to see a ward go down there very shortly.
Yep.
That wind wall, wow, he's going hard. That is a dead. Oh, no.
Oh, beautiful Zonius. Might be enough to get him out. The Fresh Lantern does go down, but he's not able to take it. Fiora picks up the kill.
Yeah, Fiora kills Nami, but they're going to dive hard on her. She dies again. Oh, she needs to play.
And Aurelia is going very strongly onto this, and it looks like she is going to be able to clean this house. J4 might be able to. Can she do it? Nope. Not quite. So blue team very strong dive there, and that is going to be enough for the surrender here. Blue team takes the win.
Triss dies right before the surrender goes.
Execute. Womp 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 womp. That's the game. Very well played. I'm going to give that one mainly to Nami and Vi. I think they had really strong map control, map presence, and it was very well done.
Well, you can't discount Yasuo. He's 717. He put a lot of work in, but Vi's presence everywhere. She got Yasuo ahead. She got that kill on Ziggs early, as well as just picking up that Fiora, and that was just a bad back. And truthfully, it was a greedy back. She only needed to spend 1 second more to walk a little bit closer to the tower, or just walk to a place where she had vision of Vi coming in. So well played, but well played to both teams. I think the Nami and Vi really had a tremendous amount of map presence, but that shows you how one very small decision can make or break a game. If Fiora had gone back a little bit closer to her tower, just walked that another 300 units closer to that tower, that game goes completely differently because Fiora was ahead. But she lost a bunch of creeps. She lost the lead she gained from that early thing, so she didn't have
Aurelia just spiraled out of control.
Well, she did spiral out of control. Fiora got another kill on her early. They traded some kills. Vi showed up again, and then Fiora lost a fight. Fiora lost a 1v1, and she maybe shouldn't have been fighting without Ignite Up. She basically should have just been like, I'm just going to farm, and I'm going to bully a little bit, but I'm not going to go all in. I'm going to go all in every 3 minutes. I'm basically going to kill you every time my Ignite comes off cooldown, but aside from that, I'm not doing it.
So, fun game. That was the end of round 2. Lumpy Space Princess versus Twist and Shout Fanfic. And Lumpy Space Princess will be moving on to the finals after that game. And they will be facing off with C8 Nam. We'll be watching that game in a little while, but first we're going to do third and fourth place, which is going to be Twist and Shout Fanfic versus Surprise, I'm Black. So, sorry, that was a little racist. My bad.
It was a lot stupid. I don't know how much racist I was.
Fair enough. Anyway, third and fourth place will be up. Keep in mind, we are playing for the prizes at this point. Third and fourth place is going to be those moderate amounts of RP, while first and second is going to be those slightly less moderate amounts of
800
RP.
for everybody in fourth place, 1,600 in third place, and the 2,400 per person in second place. And then our winners are going to come home with 3,200 RP apiece, as well as that Triumphant Rise skin. So we have 2 more matches for you. They should be pretty excellent. I think we're going to go to a very short break now. Just give us a little bit of
stretch our legs, to breathe. Make sure our voices are nice and beautiful.
While we set up the lobby for that third and fourth place match. So we should have Twist and Shout Fanfic versus Surprise and Black for you in just a minute or 2.
Okay, and we'll see you on the other side, guys. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're to our third and fourth place game, followed up very shortly afterward with our first and second game. This game that we were watching between third and fourth place is going to be Twist and Shout fanfic versus
they're going to be on the
Surprise,
blue side.
I'm Black. So,
yep.
That should be fun.
We should really just say it like Jack says it, because that's really what it is.
What?
Surprise, I'm back.
Anyway, moving right along.
Oh man, that was a real lamppost of a joke.
Yeah.
So God, I'm embarrassed about that one. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone. That was terrible, and I should be shot.
Anyway, this game will be undergoing in just a few seconds here. Looks like we're just waiting for other teams to get all set to go.
They're just swapping their order so that they can get the champ select order, because that actually matters a lot, because your order in team. Is the order that you go into champion select in. So, not everyone owns all the champions. And
that sucks.
It's very sad, but I mean, it's a lot of work to get all of them. But in any case, so it's important to have your team picks and your setups all together, so that you don't get into the game and like third pick, you're like, we'd like to pick Kog'Maw. He's like, I don't own Kog'Maw. You're like, sad faces. In any case.
But anyway, this is going to be very high, low. Looking at them, we've got Challengers versus Diamonds. So
yeah, and according to chat, Bad Boy Hung thinks that Faker is cute, and I don't disagree with him.
Yeah,
I'm actually really, really sad, because I'm a little bit of SKT1 fanboy. They've been really, really impressive, but they didn't make it. They had a rough group. I mean, we're talking about like it was a murder group, on the level of what the U.S. played in the World Cup this year. It was an insane group, but they did not make the like regional finals or whatever for OGN this most recent season.
And it looks like we'll be underway.
Yeah, we should be able to we can stop talking about like OGN or anything like that.
Still a little pandering going on, but that's fine.
Yeah, it looks like everyone. You're wrong. Take it back. Faker's cute.
Yeah, there's a giant debate going on here whether Faker's cute and Calorian is dumb. We're establishing this, but it's going. It's going on.
I mean, these are fighting words.
And voila, we are in this champion select. We'll see what's going on with this. Keep in mind, Twist and Shout fanfic is going to be that first, that blue team with those first bans and picks.
Yeah, Malkai coming out here. Not that surprising. He's very strong pick. He did get nerfed in the most recent patch, but it was a modest nerf. This is one of those nerfs that when Riot does it, I'm like, that looks like a good numerical change. Not like, when they're like, we're going to nerf all of the numbers on all three of your abilities. I'm trying to remember who they did that to last. I remember when they did it to Yorick once, but they did it. Yorick needed it, but I'm trying to remember. They did it to some champ. They're like, yeah, all your numbers are going down. And then just
I want to say it was like 4 patches ago.
Yeah, it was several patches ago.
Anyway, moving right back into what's going on here. Alistar going for the ban.
Yeah. Alistar, and this is something I wanted to talk about. Alistar kind of bridges the gap. So there was that kind of, there was that rock, scissors, paper of support. Yep. Morgana beats the all-in champions. The Thresh, the Leona, and to a lesser extent Braum. I think she probably still is good against Braum right now. Black Shield's very good, and I think they've actually tuned Braum's numbers. So in the early game oppression, like Braum used to be when he first came out, you're just like, his stats were so good that he could literally just like walk at the enemy team level 1 and level 2, and he's like, don't care about creeps, we're still going to win this fight. And they've slowly reduced his numbers enough that that's gone down. But so that rock, scissors, paper of Morgana beats the all-in champs beat the healing champs beat Morgana. So that's why you see a lot of Morgana bans. She's also just very strong anyways with those unique abilities. But Alistar has that healing sustain as well as that all-in potential. So he kind of does both sides of that ever since they changed him, so his ult is very good at level 6.
And he's not as destroyed as some champs with the Black Shield. It does hurt him a little bit, but it also makes it so he can just headbutt that person and not worry about throwing
his headbutt pulverize is almost instant, so it's really, really hard to hit the Morgana shield in the middle of him casting it. Yep. And if you cast it, he can just wait, and he's like, cool, you Black Shielded, I'm going to walk at you and wait for it to drop off.
Yeah.
And he's also like, he has good healing. He has great healing, so he can just sit there and stay high through Morgana's poke.
Real quick, final bans: Morgana, J4, Nidalee, and Rengar. Yep. So Nidalee, we've seen her a little bit. She does have that really strong potential if she does land those
She split
hunts.
pushes really, really well.
Yep.
She hits a hunt on you, her passive, and you're dead.
And first picks, Thresh we got for the supporting role for that blue team. Even though he has received repeated nerf after nerf for patch after patch, he is still pretty decent, but it is...
I would not be surprised to see Thresh disappear from all but like the highest levels of play, because he has a really, really high skill cap. As we've seen, like really good Threshes, they can knock the J4s and the Tristanas out of their jumps. But they're like his nerfs, like the most recent nerf to his shield, like I feel like that was one of his strongest, that was one of the few strengths he really had left aside from having some good CC. But I'm not excited. I felt like that most recent nerf was too much, and I would not be surprised to see him just disappear, disappear from the support role eventually as people realize that there's stronger picks. I think Leona's a stronger pick than he is right now.
Braum and Lucian for the purple team have been locked in, and Twitch and Vi have also been locked in as well, followed up by Talon and Rise here for purple team. So definitely some solid picks here. We're starting to get a little bit of a combo kind of thing going on, a little bit here with the kind of the Braum, Lucian, Talon sort of thing. And then Rise is the ultimate hyper carry, in my opinion. Like, I'm not sure if he's better than Trist or Cog, but he is. He
isn't, because the AP items don't scale.
Yeah.
Like because they're spell reliant, while AD items are just auto attack reliant.
Yep.
And they just scale way better than the
He's
AD
very
items
good
do,
though, and neither one of them are a factor in here.
He has insane late game scaling, and the most important thing is he's not a glass cannon.
Yep.
He's not like an AD carry that built 5 damage items. His damage items are things like Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart is one of the best, like gold efficient. It's one of the best damage increasing items on Rise, period. Because he gets so much from cooldown reduction. He gets a lot of damage from the mana. So, like, it's insane, because Frozen Heart is one of the best defensive items against people that rely on attack speed.
Yeah.
Which we're going to see a lot of. Twitch,
Twitch
Vi, and even to a lesser extent, Orianna.
Yep.
Are all pretty negatively affected by attack
Rumble
speed.
has a little bit, too, especially when he's doing that.
Yeah, a little bit. He relies really
heavily on
that
spell damage.
That spell damage. Yeah. So, we're going to see. This Talon, I don't know exactly how the matchup works, but I'm pretty sure Talon dumps the crap out of Orianna.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a way to get away from him, and getting in range to poke Talon with her auto attacks means he's in range to jump on her and just combo her.
Yep. Plus, he can dodge those balls fairly easily unless she waits. But the problem is he has that silence, so like if she waits, she's gonna be waiting a while.
Well, also if she's waiting, she gives him the ability to walk up to her and then hit her with a rake from range.
Yeah.
And if he hits her with a rake, he's going to be able to just walk up to her, and then he can use his silence to dodge an ability.
Yeah.
So I think the best way it goes is she tries to auto attack him down. He dashes on her. She ball shields herself and then dissonances and then runs away because he's in the slow, she's in the speed. Lucian works very well with Braum. You generally don't get to see someone getting both of them. Braum pulls a lot of bans or gets picked pretty early. But Lucian, because Lucian has that double attack, which double triggers Braum's passive. So if Braum hits his passive on someone, Lucian can dash, double shot, and then they only need one more attack to trigger that stun passive. And that lets Lucian trade really, really well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Braum hit a Q, and then they're going to get a tremendous amount of damage onto that Twitch. Twitch also doesn't have any dashes. Oh my god. I hope we see it. I would love to see this, like, massive all-in Twitch. But we're seeing some, like, right now, Rumble and Twitch do not have Flash. They are running Exhaust Ignite just for maximum murder potential.
That might be changing here. It's still undergoing, but...
it might be a last-second switch. I would not be surprised to see the last-second switch. Flash is really, really important on your ADC. But... like we do, they do swap to the conventional summoner spells. Not that surprising. I believe we have the overlay now on our stream, so that the summoner spells aren't visible. And that's a good benefit for everybody. But still, it doesn't hurt them to just play around, and then they get us talking about it. It's like when people put Teemo up on the screen at Worlds or something like that. Everyone's just like, "Woo, Teemo, yay!" In any case, these teams. There's a lot of like sustained team fight potential out of Purple Team. Rise obviously has great long-term team fight. Nocturne goes very, very long. Talon has a tremendous amount of sustained team fight ability because he gets to go all in on someone, and whether or not he kills them, his ult is generally going to get him out.
Yep.
And then like Lucian and Braum are just great brawlers right now.
Yep.
So
Rumble is also a very good brawler, but we have a little bit of Wombo combo with the Rumble Ori Vi sort of thing going on.
Yeah,
there.
if they can catch like people, like I would want to stay out of the jungle as Purple Team. They're good at brawling, but if they get Ori ulted into an equalizer, God forbid if Twitch is spraying and praying over an Ori ult, an equalized Ori ult, that game is over. Like, that team fight is over. Sorry, GG, you lost.
You have a very devastating combo with just the 2 carries. If Ori manages to land like a 3+
if she's getting
Twitch is going to do some work. He's going to do
if she's
work.
getting Lucian and Talon in that Ori ult, but like I don't all I can think of is that bush right by Wraiths.
Yep.
Right by Wraith camps. All I can think of is that bush. And it's just like 2 or 3 members of the team walk through, and suddenly, Ori ult, equalizer, and they even have the Vi, the Vault Breaker, or the Sultan Battery ball delivery system.
They have absurd ball mechanics.
It's not as good, but you can actually ball Thresh if he hits a hook. You ball Thresh, he comes in on his death sentence, and then, you get balled, you're stuck in a box, you're getting, equalized and spray and prayed. Sorry, it's not spray and pray anymore.
It's rat-a-tat-tat.
Rat-a-tat-tatted. In any case.
But yeah, so essentially what we're saying is Purple Team should not be fighting in the jungle.
Yeah, choke points. They need to avoid choke points. They need to avoid grouping up. They need to be very careful, like doing Baron or anything that forces you to, not be able to manage your position well. Baron is the classic one, but that bush by Wraiths, Banana Bush, it's not Banana Bush anymore.
No.
They got rid of Banana Bush, I forgot.
Yeah.
But those bushes by Dragon and Baron, the small bush in the river, and then that small bush now instead of Banana Bush. I miss you, Banana Bush. I'd forgotten about you for so long. Oh, my heart goes out to you.
It's okay. We're gonna get our new map, and it's gonna be all shiny.
That's after Worlds, right? They're releasing.
Oh yeah, for sure. That would. Look, can you imagine playing?
Well, they could have released if they were releasing it a month ago, it would have been fine.
It would be absurd.
Yeah, it's not that big of change.
The change mechanics to Baron and Dragon are pretty substantial, and the changes to the map is a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, the map's a little bit different, but, like 2 or 3 months is all you need, really, for, like, pros to really get a hang of it. So, but yeah, I mean, at this point, they're definitely not releasing it until after Worlds. But it would have been cool to see Worlds on the new map. I would have been excited.
Couple notes on the Summoner Spells. Rise is running that teleport, so, that is substantial, and we do have, Ignite on both of the carry,
yeah, Rumble's running Ignite, Rise is running Teleport. Everything else is exactly what you expect.
Yep. Braum does have Exhaust instead of Ignite, and...
Yeah, Thresh has Ignite, Braum has Exhaust.
Has Heal. So there is no Igniting bottom lane for the Purple Team. For the Blue Team. Purple. I was right the first time. And, I
don't know. I mean, this Exhaust is okay, but I'm not, like... unless Braum can get that Exhaust on Twitch, like, there's no one I'm super excited about exhausting. It's okay to exhaust Vi, but, it's, like, I would much rather... like almost these summoners be swapped. I would much rather have that exhaust on Talon. Like, Talon jumps in and you exhaust him immediately, and he basically doesn't do a lot. It's really, really powerful.
Okay, it looks like we do have a small DC here from the top lane from Purple Team. So we're going to get all set up, ready to go, and this game will be underway as soon as he's back. So obviously this is for 3rd and 4th place. In case you're just joining us, and this is going to be between Twist and Shout Fanfic versus Surprise I'm Back. Black.
We're apparently fighting over whether Imp or Faker is hotter, and that's completely reasonable. But there's a difference between cute and hot. So, I mean, I think it's very important as a caster that we point out the strategic difference between between thinking someone is cute versus thinking someone is hot. These are 2 different categories, and there's some overlap.
Sure. Yeah. But there is a beautiful Venn diagram.
Yeah. The Venn diagram. It's not the Venn diagram of lumpy, princesses and pirates.
Yeah.
It's not that, where there's just a beautiful overlap, it's just a nice Venn diagram. It's actually, it's much more complicated than that.
Oh my gosh, is Princess Leia a pirate?
Did she fall in the She was kind of a space pirate, wasn't she? Yeah, it wasn't really piracy. She might have stolen.
No, it was more
she
like
might have stolen
rebellion.
some MP3s. Or something.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the game at hand. Purple team is just kind of dropping some wards here aggressively on the blue
there's infinite
side.
things going on down at purple side.
They need to be very aware.
Oh, they're informing him. I think they missed the bush on that ward. It looks like it's in. Yep, they missed the bush.
It missed.
Yep. So they missed the bush. It's very important to rub it in whoever dropped that ward's face that you're bad and you should feel bad. In any case, you know. But yeah, we're having the standard jungle startup. No one's invading.
Yep.
Everyone has their wards down, and we're just going to see a standard bottom to top jungle start.
Yep, with ganks at 3 minutes up at top lane.
There's been a lot of mid ganks at 3 minutes actually.
Well,
the biggest danger with them, if you go mid and the other jungler goes top, neither of these top laners are safe. They only have flash for escapes. Rumble has his junk shield. What? Can't remember what it's called.
It's the W.
Scrap shield. I knew it was like, yeah, I should have gone with the animation. That was dumb.
A little pokage going on up at top already.
Getting some good damage in on that Rumble, and that's going to be a big problem for Rumble because
range.
Classic ranged versus melee. 1 and 2 sucks.
And he decided to go with that slow for that sustained damage just because...
well, you can't get close enough for Flame Spitter. You know, because otherwise this happens. Rise is just like, hey, how you like my Q?
It hurts. It hurts. Yep. It hurts real good.
Hurts real good. Just stand in XP range. This is another change that they did. The XP range change is really good. It just means that it's harder to zone someone out. Because it's already really rough when you push and you hit 2 first and go all in on them. But them actually missing XP and being permanently behind instead of just temporarily behind is really, really awful. So that range change makes it easier for you know, when these matchups aren't as oppressive.
So I expect most of our action is going to be going on at top and mid lane, but we might see some at bottom. It's all going to very much depend on kind of the who decides to all in more. Is really what's going to go on
Nocturne actually is farming the jungle instead of going top. So this is really interesting.
Vi. Rise is going for it, and here comes Vi from the side. Ignite goes down. She misses the Vault Breaker, but she does flash to keep up with him. Red buff and that Ignite should be enough to pick up the kill. First blood goes to Vi.
Yeah, that red buff slow, and that Vi doing great. I
Nocturne coming in from the side.
I don't know if he wins his fight.
He does manage to get the Fear off. That might be enough. Rumble's coming in from the side. Vault Breaker to keep up with him. He does flash though, so
flash gets enough, but you know, that burned his flash for you know, Vi's was already down.
Yep.
But still, Nocturne spent his flash on almost nothing. I think he overestimated his damage, his ability to kill Vi there.
Yep.
And that, unfortunately, luckily it only cost him his flash and some time.
So, meanwhile, bottom lane is still kind of just dancing around. Lucian does have actually a pretty substantial creep lead going on here. Braum does get pulled almost into turret range there with a Death Sentence Flay combo.
Yeah, it was a good attempt from Thresh, but, you know, like, if he'd gotten a turret hit on Braum, I think it would have been worth it from a resource perspective. But not getting a turret hit on Braum, it's just not worth it.
Meanwhile, back at top lane, Rise is trying to bully the crap out of Rumble, and that's because Rise went back and he finished that tier.
Yeah.
And Rumble, he does have that kill. Looks like he is going to go back. We'll see what he buys for his first item. He could use a little bit of MR, but I think he's going to probably go for a little bit more damage than that. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's probably, just an amp tome, some damage, and then some pots.
Yeah. He might be able to finish.
Oh, he actually is just he's just buying a ruby crystal. So if he's buying a ruby crystal, he's probably not gonna have much for a pot. He's gonna wait for the one pot. That's probably smart. The lane is pushed and Rise is freezing, so he actually needs to get up there ASAP because he's just losing XP.
Yep.
It's not like missing XP. It's just vaporizing into thin air as Rise freezes really well. So Rise, some great lane management. He might have flashed a little bit early, because by flashing when he did, Vi's Vault Breaker was blocked by creeps.
Mid lane, we got Vi swinging around the back here for the Talon.
Lane's too pushed for her to be able to kill Talon, so she's just going to counter jungle here, which is smart.
Talon goes all in here. Orianna's doing some nice damage here. Flashes to keep up, almost gets the kill, but the pot keeps him alive. Beautifully played there by Talon. Just enough to, you
know, and it was, Talon had used her flash, so it wasn't awful by her, but, she did trade her flash when she could have just been up a flash, which allows her to be much safer, bully him much harder.
Meanwhile, bottom lane here.
There's a fight going on up top that's really important in the jungle.
Oh,
here. Nocturne catches Vi in his jungle. She was counter jungling him, stayed too long. Ryze did not get an assist. That's actually really rough.
Yep.
I don't know if Nocturne could have waited to get him the assist or something, but you know that you're just throwing away 160 gold. That's like a creep wave almost.
Yep.
By not getting an assist.
One thing that we didn't really discuss at all was bottom lane. There was an engage. Lucian had to burn his flash, and all they burned was an ignite here from Thresh.
Yeah, his heal's down too, so they've actually burned Braum has all the summoners, but Lucian is out of summoners. And
they got flashes.
Yeah, and ignite is the only thing down, and that is the lowest cooldown summoner spell.
So bottom lane, we're probably going to see some pretty serious action going on here very shortly, and it's really going to depend on if Thresh can land a nice hook here. Just doing some pokes at the moment. Vi swinging around here at mid again. Talon trying to zone Ori here. There's the Vault Breaker doing some nice damage to her, but there's some big damage going on her as well. Shockwave goes down, and it looks
he's
like...
gonna die. If she has a dissonance to speed herself up, she should get him.
She lands the attack, but does not manage to get the auto attack.
Yep. Very well played by Talon. Just ulting by. I think he ignited her too. Yeah, he definitely ignited her.
Bottom lane, looks like we missed an engage yet again. Braum looks like he absorbed a whole bunch of damage there with his, Brahminess.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Lucian's too low against this Thresh, so Thresh can just go full aggro, get his poke on, zone people out.
Oh, there's a hook into a flay, some damage going down. Braum forced back, and it looks like he almost gets the kill there with those toxic. Drops down to 3 health. So close.
Yeah. Potions are really good against
Nocturne coming down from the side.
But Twitch just flashes.
And he's in ambush form.
I don't think there's any kills.
Thresh is gonna take some solid damage.
Lucian has no mana.
No mana.
That was really, really ballsy of Nocturne to take that tower hit. Because if Thresh had landed a flay,
it would have been.
Yeah, but he probably takes 3 tower hits, and that I don't know if he dies to 3 tower hits, but he goes very low instead of being able to stay pretty high. Vi is coming in. She's just gonna farm bottom. Just a little. Hey, I'm here.
Gold advantage is crazy even right now. 400 gold and barely in purple team's favor.
Yeah, basically that one kill, that Nocturne kill on Vi in the jungle. Otherwise, everything's pretty even. Ryze is poking the crap out of Rumble. No real surprise there. Kind of surprised about the pick of Rumble. And was Ryze picked already? I feel like Ryze was picked already.
Yeah, Ryze was like 4th or 5th pick.
Was he late? He was a late pick? Yeah, he was a late pick.
He was the 2nd round of the doubles.
Okay, then I think Rumble was picked already. Yeah, Rumble was picked already. So they picked Rumble. But like picking Rumble blind, that's always been the problem with Rumble. If Rumble against melees, he can bully the crap out of them because he's pseudo ranged, but Rumble against range just gets bullied because it's very difficult for him to bully them, especially Ryze.
Ryze going a little greedy here unless he's got enough gold.
He's ahead. No, it's fine.
Nope.
He'll be fine. If when you're ahead in lane like that, you can just keep bullying.
He's actually not that much ahead because of that one assist that he and he didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
That one kill. Oh man, all in going here on bottom and mid lane. Ori's gonna take some solid damage here, but she did throw out the ignite on Talon. That's gonna be enough to force him away. Looks like Nocturne wants to get in on this action, try and get an Ori here.
Yeah,
looks
his
like
ult
she is going to fall back.
He should just kill that ward. Well, it's almost dead anyways.
Walks over the ward. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Lucian looks like he is forced to try and defend his Braum here from another rat
attack.
And this
Thresh Twitch is just beating the crap out of this Braum.
Yep. And they're holding on very well. Like Lucian, he's going to be pretty close to even on farm here, and it looks like he will be able to still maintain this turret for now, but Braum is most likely going to get forced back here very shortly. Top lane Ryze is still kind of pushed out. Teleport coming down here.
He's going to teleport. The back line. We'll see how this. They're pretty low, but I think this is going to be a double kill for the team.
Yeah. Oh man.
He's used his root already. This culling
is destroying. Double kill for Lucian, and that's going to be enough for him to probably go back and finish off his Blade of the Ruin King, which is going to be huge for him.
Yeah, and they're going to get a dragon out of this too, I think.
Vi comes in, drops the ward out the back. Talon comes in, does a big rig ultimate combo, followed up by an ignite. No, she's not.
Oh, last tick. Yep.
Beautifully done there.
Yep, beautiful, amazing play by him. I thought she was going to live. I guess.
Yeah. He knows Talon apparently.
Yeah, he knows his Talon, but
he's like, this combo is specifically perfect for
That's
killing.
Exactly what I need. Yeah, because he's gotten away with no health multiple times, and he's he's gotten away with no health multiple times, and he's killed people like Xaxes with Ignite.
Yep.
So knows his talent damage.
Top lane, Rise went back, finished off his boots, returned to lane. He is breaking even right now on farm, which I think means nope, they're still barely even.
Yeah. Well, and Rise did die early in that lane, but he's still just able to bully this. Well, keep in mind, they're barely even. Rise teleported bottom and got Lucius double kills, so...
This is true.
He's had a lot more map presence than Rumble. Rumble's basically just had to be in his top lane.
Yep, just kind of pushing it out. Mid lane, still dancing around that ball some more. It's a disco ball almost. And bottom lane, they're just returning. It's good. It's tamed down a little bit. We're at 11.5 minutes. With 5 kills for Purple Team. Gold advantage is barely in their favor, though.
Yep, couple thousand. It's basically,
Dragon.
Yep, Dragon. Orion's out farming talent a little bit. Farm is pretty even on the AD carries, which is impressive. We have a fight coming in. Nocturne's going to ult this very shortly. There.
Rash takes some pretty
He
solid
actually
damage.
goes on Rash. Oh, they're going to finish on Twitch very easily.
Yep, and he gets that, and now bottom lane is absolutely wrecked here for this blue team.
Yeah, that's 2 double kills. I think they're going to put some damage onto this tower. There's no dragon to pick, but
top lane,
Rumble
Rumble,
just
he kills
ults,
Rise,
I think
he destroys him, and now he wants to push because he realizes bottom lane is going to get pushed in.
That'll happen when you have your Ignite out. So, yep, that's, Ignite versus Teleport, that's one of the problems, and especially with that melee when you finally get, he didn't actually have any new items finished.
Nope.
But Rise has been, just building the greedy double mana build. It's very powerful late, and, they're planning on going late.
Yep, but Vi rotated down to bottom to kind of clear this minion wave just a little bit here. Purple team rotating into the jungle. Looks like they might try to catch Vi at red.
This red should be coming up any second now. Yep, there it is.
There it is. And Vi realizes that it's going to be contested. We're going to have a 2v2 at the very least. It is a 1v4. She gets silenced in the middle of Vault Breaker, forced to flash. Ball comes in for support.
Flash, though, because she actually doesn't get hit by any of the things. So she keeps her health high.
She comes back in, a shockwave comes in, hits in. But she is going to go down here. Nocturne does go down as well, though, before that.
1-1, but Twitch dies too.
Comes in, Twitch goes down, and looks like Braum goes down.
Just a 2 for 2. Braum dies as well, so great reaction by blue team. It was a 4v1, but Vi's flash got her out, and then they stayed around too long and basically got converged on. Good Oriole, not amazing, but still hit the 2 key people. End up going 2 for 2.
Rise is going to be able to put a little pressure at top lane, but one of the downsides of Rise is he really sucks at killing turrets. So he's going to put some damage on him, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill it. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, turret damage you deal to turrets is based on your AD or your AP. And because he's basically the one champ in the game that builds mana for damage, turret damage doesn't scale off of how much mana you have. So he does have basically damage, he has tank level of turret.
Equalizer comes out behind him. It's gonna do a little bit of damage. Rise all.
I think he's gonna get out with the root
big damage there from those auto attacks from Rumble, and that's gonna be enough to pick up the kill. So. Wow, Rumble doing work here up on top side.
Got his
talent once again working over Vi in the jungle there.
Yeah, and they should know that the purple team has wards in there, so that's really dangerous for her to just be going in there, especially with how big he is.
Yep, this is gonna be really bad news bears here for Vi, because now she has been completely shut down. She has no tanky items, which means she basically can't participate in team fights right now.
Yeah, and this is the problem with Brutalizer Vi. If you're behind and you build Brutalizer, you're literally worthless. People are just like, hey, Vi, hey.
Yeah,
and then she dies.
She might be able to win a 1v1, but in a 2v2, it's just like, oh.
Well, and if she's behind, the thing is, she's behind on levels too.
Yep.
So she's down on all the tanky stats and as well as the offensive stats. So she's just gonna get murdered because her passive, it scales with hit points. So when you have no hit points, you're not getting that tanky benefit from your passive.
And I make it seem like it's doom and gloom right now, but right now, Rumble is starting to spiral out of control. Vi is getting crushed a little bit. This is from blue team's perspective. And Twitch has gotten crushed a little bit, but Orion has been farming very well, even though talent has been roaming.
It's only a 3,000 gold lead. One of the big problems is, Rumble's big. We'll see how this Rumble versus Nocturne fight goes.
He is caught out. Rise is trying to get in there. Flashes exchange. Vi comes in along the side, doing massive damage to Rise. We'll see if she can pick up the kill here.
She should be able to finish this with another Vault Breaker. There it is.
And Talon comes in from the side. There's the ultimate double kill there for Vi. That's going to be enough to get her back into this game.
And that's exactly what they needed.
Meanwhile, bottom lane. Oh gosh, blue team is getting wrecked once again. Another beautiful culling here from Lucian.
Every single thing hits. So.
And he does get hit with an Ignite. So close, and he makes it out with about
summoner
80
heal
health.
plus those stats from that Braum is all they needed.
Ori
comes in. I think she's gonna get stunned.
Flash
he still has flash.
And there's
I
the
guess
stun.
she's fighting
Takes
under
the
her
tower.
Yeah.
Oh man, Braum comes in along the side. Talon wants to come in, and looks like he was out for blood because he's like, oh, I got my combo. Let me in. Let me in. But,
and he actually has mobility boots, which is kind of impressive. But that lets him roam really, really well, which is really what you want to do with Talon.
Yep.
You want to be using that ult on cooldown to murder people or put pressure on people, burn some summoners.
And they don't have a crazy amount of CC, so like Merc Treads isn't crazy, and there's a lot of magic damage with all of blue team. So like the Ninja Tabby's not going to be crazy good. So I understand why I decided to go with mobility over boots and lucidity.
Yeah.
But
well, it really gives them a tremendous amount of early game or like this early mid game pressure presence. And kudos to blue team. You know, after Vi got killed in our jungle, they now have great vision. You know, maybe they should have had this vision earlier, but now they have a pink ward defending their jungle as well as a couple blue wards defending the entrances. 3 blue wards. Sorry, green wards, defending those entrances. So they have great vision now to stop Talon from just like walking into their jungle and killing them.
Support ward fight going on here. Thresh actually pulled the dragon there to get Braum out of his dragon pit and actually did about half health with just that single Q. So pretty awesome there.
Ward fight doing lots of damage to this. Is he going to go over the wall? No, he's not.
I was thinking that he was going to.
But they are going to go low enough that they are going to back out, which I think is smart. Or he still has this ult.
Oh, gets the dragon teleport coming in here from Rise, and now blue team's like, okay, we're out.
Yep, but it did basically, you know, I think that teleport was very good because if he didn't teleport, blue team was going to be able to put a lot of pressure. Rise, you just poke on this Rumble.
Doing a big equalizer. There's the ultimate from him, doing massive damage. Vi Duncan all the way into the backline is going to go down, but it might be enough to set up multiple kills here for blue team. Lucian is going to be able to get away. Nocturne is super low, goes into the jungle. Blue team is going to have a strong push here at this mid turret, and they might be able to get 2 out of this. We'll see.
Yeah, that was, you know, like we were talking about, get equalized. You know, if you get shockwaved into that equalizer, as we saw, oh man, that was real, real bad. You just melt. And then Vi, you know, it was a really interesting call. She decided to ult Talon instead of Lucian. And she got the knock aside. Okay.
Oops.
Well,
thought he could take one more tower hit.
Yep, thought he could take it, but ended up winning. They get the tower, but they actually, you know, he wasn't long enough that it was just a suicide.
Yeah. So gold advantage is just over 2K in purple team's favor, but keep in mind they just did get the 2 mid turrets, which is very huge. They are more important than any of the other turrets because it opens up the map.
Yeah, it completely opens up your ability to wander through your enemy jungle and just put a lot of pressure on them. You basically have to put an additional ward right here at this that cross in mid lane where all those entrances go. Looks like purple team's gonna just walk back. You see this a lot. Counter, get that outer tower. It is just an outer and not an inner. So
and it looks like they're gonna rotate through the jungle here, work their way towards top lane, and Vi might be in a little bit of a sticky situation here. I think she's just dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yep. Yeah, nope, you're dead. I'm sorry.
I think she's just gonna try and kill.
Nocturne ults in, she flashes under it. Lucian dumps him. He's gonna take some big tower hits.
Very low, but he's gonna survive.
An equalizer comes out. Blue team is here now, and they managed to pick up Braum here. We'll see if they can catch up to Talon here. Another beautiful calling, and looks like Talon forced the ultimate there in more of a defensive manner than he normally would like. Thresh going for the cutoff here. Let's see if he can land the death sentence. Whiffs it. Rise decides to counter, punish him a little bit here. Rumble coming back in, manages to land a slow enough on Rise with that. No, he doesn't have it yet, but he's doing some nice damage. Ignite goes down on Rise. I think he is going to barely stay alive.
Yeah, that death sentence from Thresh was a little bit weird because Talon's flash was down, and that only hits Talon if he flashes. I think he fires it ahead of Talon, where it's going to hit Talon, so Talon either has to juke backwards because he was trapped by that tower, that dead tower base.
And while
Talon,
Twitch picks up Talon, and while all this is going on, we have a
crazy.
massive wave at bottom.
Yeah, Rise is going to get there in time, so that way's not going to matter. Vi's back to
one turret already, so...
Yeah, I mean, again, it's an outer turret, you know, so, like, those are going to go down. You don't want it to go down to giant waves, because you just lose a ton of XP, but...
Rumble and Nocturne dueling out a little bit there.
Yeah,
Rumble manages to do some nice
Nocturne
damage. Nocturne needs to get out of there, but I think he's dead because, you know, Twitch.
Oh, hello. You're dead.
What's that vanilla? Anyway, blue team is still playing around here in the jungle. Braum and Lucian
Rumble
there.
going too deep.
Rumble flashes in extremely aggressively. Orianna flashes in and as well manages to help pick up a kill there on Lucian.
Braum versus Ori, but again, Twitch.
Twitch is coming by, comes in on the side. Ori picks up the kill. Yeah. Man, this got bloody.
Yeah, so this is just like everyone's just like wandering in their jungle. You know, like everyone was playing pretty tight, really being on top of strategy. And then everyone's just like, let's wander through topside purple jungle, and everyone's gonna die. We're just gonna throw it, you know, like 10 kills between both sides. People just getting, like, diving in, getting picked off.
I think we had like 6 kills at like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like 21 minutes. Here's
16,
30!
17, yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, blue team clearing some wards here in the river. Dragon will be back up here in another 2 minutes, so not relevant quite yet. Warding will be back up in just a little bit. Vision control is firmly in blue team's favor right now, so kudos to them. Gold advantage is also barely in purple team's favor. So, right now, let's see who the fed ones are. It looks like it's the jungles. Rumble is fat. I'm sorry. Rumble's fat and Talon. Lucian also has a substantial amount of kills, so it looks like the main gold differential you have is Orianna and Twitch have their gold a little bit more evenly split compared to
Nocturne
Lucian.
going hard on Rumble, but he's going to be able to just walk out of that tier.
Ori just manages to do the command protect into a Z dissonance for the speed buff to get out of that fear. So, and now they're just going to push out this a little bit. Purple team rotating up here. Looks like they're going to try and clear some wards. And they missed the one at Baron Pit, so they realize they don't... Oh, there it is. Oh, he's got an Oracle. I didn't realize he had an Oracle. So, purple team clearing some wards here. Vi still trying to hold out of this turret. Nope, let it go.
Yeah,
22 minutes outer turret.
Just back up, let it, let it go, and then farm it as it gets farther into your jungle where you're safer.
Speaking of which, I hear there's a really annoying song that likes to get stuck in your head. It's called Let It Go.
No,
Let It Go.
That doesn't get stuck in my head.
Oh. Anyway, I hope it gets stuck in everyone else's head. Blue team still pushing out here at mid lane.
You're a horrible person.
I know.
And in any case, you should never hope things like that. But yeah, no, game's calming down a bit. You know, all those outer towers are down now, so that top one on blue side finally goes down.
Rumble aggressively positioned here in the jungle.
Yeah, he's gonna wrap around behind.
Talon gets caught out. There is 2 ultimates burned in order to pick up that kill, but that is actually going to be pretty huge because Talon is a very substantial amount of that damage. And wow, I didn't realize how techy the AD carry builds were. They both are running Yomumus and...
The Yomu's Zhonya's?
Yeah. Well, not Zhonya's, Blade.
Yeah, sorry.
That's very techy for AD carries. Normally you see like giant infinity edges.
Oh god!
Rise gets poked.
That will be
get wrecked. Giant targets are going to be going out here. Braum does a beautiful ultimate that's going to zone them out a little bit here. Zhonya's from the Rumble there, but blue team is pushing out very strongly. Purple team is going to try and push back here just because blue team is taking massive amounts of turret damage. But
yeah, they're diving pretty hard.
Oh god, Talon. He's coming.
His ult is up.
I was just like, oh god, get out of there, blue team. That's
he's not chasing. I guess like him getting blown up. He's like, I've gotten blown up enough. It's probably about time to get GA. I don't know what he's building. He has
Last Whisper pickaxe.
Yeah, I mean that's usually Last Whisper pieces. It could be Tiamat.
Morello? No. Maybe it is Tiamat.
Like, the only thing I can think of...
what's that, builds off of Hex Drinker? Maw?
Maw Malmortius? Yeah, but you finish your Hex Drinker first. You buy that pickaxe.
That's weird. Anyway.
In any case, we'll see what he's building.
You know,
his talent's been good, but he's been going out.
Blue team, oh god, I get wrecked by a Flash Talon. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Flash Talon manages to block the Vault Breaker with that silence. Oh god, though!
Yeah.
The Ori follow-up with the command. Oh god. It manages to get, like, instant kills. Lucian throws out a culling, but unfortunately, since he's so techie, it does like no damage. And Rumble's just like, oh, I got feared. But
yeah,
he is still chasing here, and unfortunately for Nocturne, I think he can catch up to him. We'll see.
Nocturne's speed boost, I think, lasts longer than...
That shield, though, is going to be rough.
It's going to be close. Nocturne has his Merc Treads finished.
Go the long way.
Yeah, they both have boosts.
Okay.
Yep, Nocturne's speed boost is actually really good for running away.
Yeah. Rumble clearing some waves there. That should be
able
to eliminate
the
push here at top.
Getting the inhibitor is going to be really dangerous because Nocturne, he doesn't have his ultimate, but he's going to be coming out of the well. Talon's coming out of the well too.
Alright, this is my problem with super techie builds like this. I think Twitch is one of the few people that can pull it off, just because, like, he does so much damage.
Yeah, that attack speed on the rat-a-tat.
Also, like, his WE combo can just do so much damage to a team.
Yeah, and Lucian obviously is doing it for the culling. You know, you turn on your Yomus and cull, and then you can just...
I don't like it.
I'm not a huge fan of it either. It was you know, it was like this kind of like flavor of the week build for a little bit, and then like people are just like, this just has less power, you know, less inherent power. It's cute, but it has way less power. It's adorable.
Every time I see it, like Lucian, he just like falls off and he's like, crap, I don't.
It is literally a gigantic box full of kittens. But you know, that doesn't, you know, just because you're a giant box full of kittens and you can get 1 million likes on YouTube does not mean you're the best League of Legends build.
Returning back to the game at hand, blue team does have a small gold advantage, and like it's 3K, like it's mildly substantial. We all are 25 minutes in, but that 3K is really not much. So
25 minutes, it's a lead, but it's not a lot of them.
No.
More importantly, they've just, like, Purple Team's just been like, we really want to group up for this Equalizer Shockwave combo.
Yeah.
We just want to get
like
murdered.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Rise has a spectral cowl, but Talon, he has a longsword after this team match, so he's gonna finish this Hydra, but he really needs to get like a Banshee's Veil or something.
Yep. He needs to kill some
He needs to not get murdered by Rumble Ori.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens. Blue team pushing out here. Looks like they're gonna try and put some pressure on this inhibitor. Keep in mind, Purple team also doesn't have like a really strong engager because Nocturne decided to go extremely offensive. With his
so
build.
he doesn't have that Randuin's, like the Nocturne ult and the Randuin'ing the enemy team. That's really strong. Without that, like, yeah, they kind of need to counter-engage, or here we go.
There it goes. Culling goes out, and it's actually a pretty big whiff this time. Blue team does take a lot of damage, and the rat goes down. But we're trading kills right now, and I think blue team's going to come out ahead here because Rumble just does massive sustained damage in these prolonged fights. Lucian is still alive. I think he's going to be able to pick a buy, but Ignite goes down, and there's the ace. And that is
the game. That's an ace in 28 minutes, and this inhibitor is going down. They have creeps.
20 seconds
until
Braum is
up.
up.
20 seconds.
Yeah,
this is at least both Nexus turrets.
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely...
no, Talon's going to be up.
Talon's going to be up in 12, but I mean, the first Nexus turret is dead, right?
Yeah, well...
they're going to run out of creep. It's going to be really close. Maybe they won't get the second Nexus turret.
Yeah,
they are going to stick for it. Rumble's going to die again. No.
Oh, they're going for it. Talon's going to get like triple kills if he has home guard.
He doesn't have home guards yet. He should.
Oh my gosh. That'd be a triple kill.
He hasn't been able to really farm, though.
He has boots of mobility. He is going to chase Rumble. It does get caught out here, but the Lantern manages to pull him back into safety. But keep in mind, he does have boots of mobility here, so he's going to keep chasing. They split up.
Rise teleported behind them.
And
beautiful teleport by Rise. Kills Ori. I think Rumble's going to get away. I don't think they're faster. Although those boots of mobility, he's wrapping around. Oh, man. They're running the wrong way.
And yeah,
he's
Rumble
managed to. Boom. He's going to walk onto a ward though, so they see this Nocturne's going to be able to stop him back.
Yep, and he is most likely going to go down unless
he doesn't hit the Dusk Path though.
He's got to stay away long enough in order to suicide is his only hope, unless blue team can get here in time.
Yeah, Vi and Thresher here. Twitch is not, and Ori is dead, so we're going to see how this works out.
Nobody's landed anything on him yet. Oh, there's an equalizer for a group up, followed by Azonias, which means big damage. Braum just goes down immediately. And now Nocturne, even with that spell shield, gets wrecked. Purple team rotates down to try and save this turret, but keep in mind, we have a Twitch with an exposed Nexus. Like, this is super dangerous for them to rotate down and commit so heavily to defending this bottom turret when, like, they're just exposed with so many people down, and Rise gets forced away from the turret just the way they wrap around. Double kill for Vi. Lucian is back up. but that turret's already dead. He's going to be forced back.
He'll have to, like, hold this creep wave or something, and it's very possible we'll see, like, buy block, face block it, or something like that.
And blue team is slowly coming back up. Braum is
there.
Up.
Yep, buy face block it. Yeah, she base blocks the culling so that it doesn't clear the creep wave, and they're going to get a second inhib. They're actually going for the Nexus at this point. I'm not sure this is a good point.
Nope, Nocturne coming in here with Home Guard. It might be enough Braum ultimate, enough to zone a little bit here.
Yeah, but they're just kind of like throwing out their abilities but not doing anything.
Oh gosh, Braum gets engaged upon Lucian, gets dunked, and there is the shockwave. Braum goes down yet again. Lucian does manage to go down as well. Nice ultimate there from Talon, picks up 2 kills there. But it's not going to be enough.
Yeah,
he does manage to skirt away. Rise comes back in. Super creeps are knocking though, and it might be enough. Orianna flashes around him, and that's going to be enough. That's the game.
Yeah, and this game was frantic. If I had one word, you know, it is frantic. You know, it played out pretty standard like you would expect, and then suddenly, like, everyone just, like, runs into topside purple jungle, like, kill, someone dies, you know, like, we're just, like, watching where we should be, where everyone is, like, on the tower, and then, like, Talon dies off to the side, Rise teleports behind people, you know, just non-stop action. But, you know, and it's kind of exciting, but strategically, it's just, like, all over the place. No one ever, like, really caught their breath. And that Rumble play, getting away, was really, really powerful. And then his team shows up, so he can just, like, buy enough time for his equalizer to come back up. And then he drops that equalizer, you know, and they come over the wall. Like, they thought they had it really cute with Braum jumping on top of Nocturne. They're like, we got him. And then it's like, nope, they got you, you know.
It was a good little play. Anyway, that was the end of the runner-up kind of bracket there. And third and fourth place is determined, with fourth place going to Surprise I'm Black, and third place going to Twist and Shout Fanfic. So those are determined. Now we're on to our final game. First and second to be decided by Lumpy Space Princess versus C8 Nam. So
we'll see if Lumpy Space Princess can, you know, really privateer and pull out a piracy win against C8 Nam.
See what I get?
Yeah, those were bad, though. I apologize for those two. I've done way better.
He insults me, but poorly at the same time.
Yeah.
Just because I say pirate, you know, like 4 times instead of princess.
Anyways, yeah, I can do better. I apologize to everyone. I promise that those puns will be...
The mockery will return.
Yes, the puns will be better in the future.
Okay, so it looks like we're just waiting for those teams to be all set to go here. We're probably just... we'll be underway here in just a second.
I think we get into it very shortly. I think we're going to go to a break just for a little bit. Yeah, we need a break just before we get into these games. So,
yeah, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stick around.
Yep, finals. Like and follow us if you haven't us yet. It really supports us a lot. But we will have the grand finals of this Warrior Esports tournament for you in just a couple minutes.
Yep. We'll see you on the other side, guys. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the final game of this tournament, and it is going to be between the Lumpy Space Pirates, aka the Princess, versus C8 Nam. And I know it is Princess. I just like calling them pirates.
Yeah, it's too late. They're the Lumpy Space Pirates. It's okay. Space Pirates are pretty awesome.
So this game will be underway here in just a few short moments. Both the teams are just, getting their jimmies all nice and together.
Yes, it's important that your jimmies are not rustled when you start a game. Like, they must be all in a row, ordered.
Okay.
Ordered jimmies. Anyways,
so like they always say, we're hitting it, and it's going to be under.
No one
unlike
says
Donkey
that.
Kong.
No.
Both of them.
You said always. Like they always say. Who is they? Nobody. There is no they.
There is a they. They're like awesome.
Are the they is these mythical lumpy space pirates that don't exist?
Well,
are those the people that say these things
awesome.
that you make up? Pirates are awesome.
They're better than ninjas. I'm picking
that is your
fights
opinion.
now.
Yeah, he's trying to pick fights, but he can't because he says things that aren't true.
Anyway, the game will be underway here in just a few.
Just go on the internet and tell lies?
No, I would never troll, especially when you guys see my
no one
face
does that.
on a regular basis.
No one has ever told lies on the internet. In any case, this has gotten
out of hand quickly.
Yeah, like we may have been on a hook at some point, but we're certainly off of it now.
So anyway, the game will be underway here in just a few moments, and I'm not quite sure what's going on
I
here.
know what's going on. We have a #1 difficulty. Someone is peeing.
Oh.
Yep. This is a #1 issue. It will be resolved shortly.
I'm devastated.
Yep.
Oh
my god, it's cascading! Oh no!
Everybody is peeing now.
No, a cascade of Niagara Falls-like problems that will mean we never get into this game. The last person will come back and the first person will have to go, and we'll just be stuck in the infinite loop. This tournament may never finish, people.
For the record, we are starting a new segment on this league stream where it's called Tinkle Time, where everybody just...
Welcome to Tinkle Time, everybody. We're going to talk about patch notes, and we're going to pour a little bit of water.
Yeah, no, we're just going to have it in the background, just like a little stream of water going, so you can all tinkle that much easier.
Yeah. It's
nice
comforting.
And relaxing.
Rainy mood. We'll put on rainy mood in the background.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. A little crash of thunder to liven things up, get us back in the mood for some awesome.
That's not cool. You're going to startle them. They're going to get everywhere.
No. They're done already. We have to get back in the mood. We've had our calm moment, and now we're going to have some awesome matches. Well, one match between our finalists here. So.
Anyway, final teams. Taking a quick look at the teams. We do have a lot of challengers versus a couple challengers and diamonds. So it looks like it's going to be a fairly even team. And I'm sorry, like when the worst person is a Diamond 4, like that's not bad. Like there is a fine line between Diamond 4 and Challenger, so this should be a very fantastic game. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I just can't hide it.
Oh, well, that's good. And it looks like I read that as Emina.
Yeah, apparently we're having some interesting chats while we finish up our pee break.
Indeed. Tinkle Time. We got to use the segment. Yeah. While we're on Tinkle Time, I would like to remind you guys that if you do enjoy our lovely voices and what you see on this Twitch stream, YouTube, whatever you're watching it on, make sure you hit that like, favorite, subscribe,
Yeah, definitely do that. Don't be reading this chat right now. It's inappropriate for minors, if you will.
Moving right along, and also we do have what was it? I'm supposed to shamelessly plug something here.
Coke?
No,
Coke is delicious. No. We're not getting sponsored. We should be. If you guys want us to get sponsored by somebody, please let us know in the comments or in the chat or something. We'll look into it.
Okay, so we're going to be starting a podcast similar to Summoner's Insights. So just kind of keep you informed of what's going on here at Warrior Esports. We're always trying to improve the channel. We're trying to improve basically our kind of streamline the tournaments because, we're aware that not everything goes according to plan all of the time. So we're always trying to improve, try new things. Some things don't always work out for the best, but hey, it's better to try and fail than never try at all, right?
I don't know.
He's looking at me funny. It makes me nervous. Anyway, so this game will be going on right now.
Please hit start.
Right now.
Okay. In any case, we'll be getting into at any point now.
Gosh.
Any second now. Okay, we've lost everyone. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assure you, we'll be underway here in just a few more moments. We didn't really, like, there is a few final things that we can talk about on the patch notes. Really, nothing too much. Bug fix on Lulu to make her, it turned out to be a minor nerf. But it's more statements.
It was a tooltip.
Facts,
tooltips. Yeah, it was a tooltip nerf.
Cog. Oh, there we go. Finally.
Yeah, okay, we can stop talking about that. Get us some bans and picks.
Okay.
So I don't know. We've seen Maokai banned all tournament. I would not be surprised to see him.
And Alistar. Every game we've watched, I think Alistar has been banned. So keep in mind this is for first and second, and the blue side is going to be that lumpy space princess. So, oh my gosh, I said it correctly. Anyway. Lumpy Space Princess is the blue team, and it's C8 Nam is going to be the purple. So Alistar, first ban. Boom. Apparently nobody likes him.
Yeah, Yasuo ban. That's not surprising. He's been very powerful. He's a very strong mid laner.
Maokai.
Yep, there's the Maokai ban we were looking at.
Yep.
We'll see if Triss picks up a ban. She's been, she's been
pretty strong. Aurelia, actually, that looks like a targeted ban. I think.
Yeah.
I think she dumpstered our.
Yep. Yeah, she dumpstered
one of the
Fiora.
previous games. Yeah, Fiora.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, that first pick Aurelia. So that's they're good. And that's something I really like to see out of these tournaments too. People are paying attention to the stream. They're watching and they're doing a little bit of research. And it's very possible they're just doing the research in the enemy teams and looking into it. Ori's gotten much more popular recently, too. She has a tremendous amount of power, even after that very slight nerf.
Yeah, her ultimate is super potent. Like, it is probably one of the most game-changing ultimates out there right now. Like, I'm not saying it's the most game-changing.
Since, like, Mummy ult got the Radius nerf, it's very possible that Ori ult is just one of the best CCs. It does a lot of damage, too. She has great sustained damage, great poke, good wave clear. It'll be banned again, so... It
just has, like, if you have any sorts of AoE at all... Like, it just sets up so beautifully for team fights. So, like...
Yeah. And we're seeing a Lulu out of this. I would not be surprised for this to be, like, a top Lulu.
Top Lulu or support. Those are our main roles, usually, but
support
it's probably
Lulu,
top.
She's just not as strong as any of the supports. She doesn't have the sustain of, like, the Nami.
She doesn't have
Nami
the
is the only real...
Like, she has decent CC, but it's a slow. And they got nerfed.
Yeah, it's just... she gets kind of all-in.
Whoa.
I would love to see that. Akali. I think they're screwing with us, but Akali might actually be a good counter to Lulu. Maybe. I would not be surprised to see like Akali top versus Lulu. As soon as Akali hits 6, Lulu can't keep off.
Yeah, she might. No, it's Renekton. It looks like so. I imagine Akali getting wrecked by the slow a little bit on the trading potential early game.
Yeah, she just gets slow. Lulu walks away.
Polymorph. No, Polymorph is another one. Like I think that.
But the thing is, like, so Lulu does that to her, and then Akali just like shadow dashes onto her again.
I don't know. I imagine because Akali's melee, like that, Lulu is just gonna slowly poke her down.
Yeah, but Akali's sticking power. Like once you get on top of Lulu, she basically has to have her ult up or she's dead.
Yep.
Anyway,
Renekton Lucian gets locked in here. Renekton, one of the strongest lane bullies up there at top lane, and Lucian, he is just he's very popular.
He's been all over the place. Even like they nerfed his range and they give him a bunch of power, and now they kind of put him into one of the more mobile champs with the resets on his dash.
Lee Sin and Morgana looks like it's going to be the next picks here.
Those are probably the picks. They might change it around, but Morgana did not get banned, and she didn't get early picked.
She is still very strong, even with those most recent nerfs on her on the patch there, which happened on Tuesday.
Yeah, they nerfed the amount of magic damage that the Black Shield can absorb by a significant amount, and they nerfed that base damage on her ultimate, so she's not just getting a ton of free damage without building AP.
Yep, and Vi actually got swapped in for Lee Sin. Very popular this tournament. She does provide very strong initiation. She also has really solid damage, dueling potential. Like, she is a very strong jungler. Her clear speed is pretty good in the jungle, so...
Yeah. And I think the biggest problem is Lee Sin, because that cripple lost its attack speed slow, he lost a lot of his, like, late-game utility. His ability to, like, get in the fight, put down an attack speed slow on an enemy carry, as well as kick someone, was really big. Now, if he can't get a good kick, like, if you can't insec it, he's lost a lot of his late game team fight ability.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but it looks like we're going to have the Thresh for the support here, and just because the Morgana was already there, so you know you're gonna have to deal with Black Shield already.
I like Nami way better than Thresh into Morgana, especially like with the nerfs to Thresh. We'll see how it works, but like Thresh isn't really that good against any of those champs. Lulu's speed buff stops her from like getting hit by any of the Thresh stuff from long range. Morgana has her shield, and Vi doesn't care about it. She's like, yeah, hook me, let's fight.
J4 in the jungle is what's gonna happen here, and it looks like gonna be kind of a fun time here. And Jinx and Zed looks like it's what it's going to be.
They got a lot of time. These picks might change around.
I wouldn't be surprised on the Jinx. The Zed, he has fallen out of favor when they have rearranged Blade of the Rune King a little bit, and there was another pretty substantial nerf. I think it was his Death Mark. I think they nerfed the damage on that a little bit.
They gave him a little bit of power back recently, though, because he now moves behind his target instead of in front of his target.
Yep.
Which can be better or worse on his Death Mark. They also eliminated unit collision when his ultimate's active. But I like this J4 a lot because Lulu doesn't have a flash, a built-in flash.
Mm-hmm.
So that ultimate can really lock her down. She has a lot of mobility, but not a way to get out of Cataclysm aside from her summoner spell flash. Morgana is the same way. Cataclysm doesn't care at all about that Black Shield.
And right now, there's no Wombo combo. This is just sustained damage right now. Like, unless they pick like a really strong AoE champ like Ziggs right now, neither team has Wombo combos. Like, you got catches. You have a lot of catches here for blue team.
But it's kind of weird because they don't, they have some disengage with Morgana and Lulu.
Yeah.
But they, like, Vi is their only, like, Vi and Zed can all in someone.
Yeah.
But I don't like Jinx at all into, I don't like her into Thresh. Because it's too easy for her to get hooked. They do have the Black Shield, so that's okay. But if you miss a Black Shield, you like lose that trade really bad if she actually does get hooked. And Cataclysm, like Trist is up. Like Trist is so much better against J4. Like Jinx just gets cataclysmed and then can't do anything. She gets trapped in there. Karma, I would love to see Karma out of this.
That I don't think we actually
will. Wow, we are.
Okay, that is really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be Karma mid.
Yeah, Karma mid. What this does is actually opens up a whole bunch of possibilities for initiation because Karma with that mantra E, the shield. I forget what it's called, but it's like conviction. I don't remember. But the shield provides that massive speed buff, so it's like the old school.
What was it? God, I can't remember.
Talisman of Ascension?
Oh, it's Talisman now.
No, it's Talisman now. Talisman's it's not a bad item.
I remember what you're talking about. The
Reverie. Shirelia's
Reverie.
Yeah, so it's like that old school where that was mandatory for support.
Yeah, everyone had to have it because that's how engages happen. She could do that
or disengages happen.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so it looks like we're going to see that, and with Karma, Renekton, and J4 and Thresh, you have some really strong initiation. And Karma, she provides a lot of sustained teamfight damage.
Yep.
Like, a lot. And she can also be deceptively tanky with her W. Like, her W can, it really depends on how good she is. She has that heal on that mantra thing.
She has some good dueling potential. The biggest problem in team fights is because she's skill shot based and it's a projectile. It collides on the first person it hits.
Yep.
She has to burn through that front line. She can't, Ori ball over and then shockwave the back line or something like that.
Yeah.
She basically just has to burn through it, and she makes up for that by providing a tremendous amount of technical support and techie abilities to the team with those shields or that AoE shields with great CC on that slow on her Q as well as that slow into root on her shackle. So yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Sustained team fighting action is what I see here for Purple Team.
Purple Team has a great hard engage. Karma shield her team for the speed boost into Renekton J4 all ending people, and Thresh if he hits a hook.
Yeah, they just have massive sustained damage. As soon as Renekton or Renekton gets a Sunfire cape, it's going to be absurd.
And we have Lulu is a very mobile champ, but her mobility gets shut down by J4 ult, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And Jinx doesn't have a lot of mobility, so a lot of their damage is, gets shut down by that hard engage, this J4 and this Renekton getting all over Jinx. And they don't, they basically need to Morg bind J4 as he's coming in.
Yep.
Or Renekton as he's coming in, because that's really their only ways to stop it.
Vi has some disengage potential, but it's difficult for her because she would either have to burn her Vault Breaker get
she
out
basically
of there.
has to Vault Breaker people to either to disengage or to knock people up to stop them from engaging on Jinx. So I really dislike this Jinx pick into, one, picking Jinx into Renekton anyways just seems bad, and Jinx into a J4 seems particularly iffy, but we'll see how it works. If she can get ahead, and then Morgana and Lulu can just babysit her and really peel for her in team fights, she might be able to clean it up. Because if she gets to the point where J4 can ult her and she just kills him,
yep.
She's
Jinx,
nice,
she has
good.
massive sustained damage once she gets that just tail end of mid game.
Yeah, she needs 3 items. She needs her her attack speed item, her Infinity Edge, and her Last Whisper.
I would say
and
the tail end of mid game is where she peaks.
Yep. But you have the problem that you have your dive buddies in J4 and Renekton, so she has to get peel, and she has to not die to just that physical damage because that Morg shield isn't going to give her extra hit points. She only has that extra hit points from that Lulu. And she's probably going to be getting Lulu ulted a lot, unless Zed ults in and then gets Lulu ulted and not 5-man knockups, or Vi ults in.
I don't know who wins on Zed versus Karma. I have not seen enough with Karma, but I assume Zed is going to have.
She has her shield.
Yeah, he has juke capabilities though, and I don't know. It's going to be close on that one. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, the thing is, because he's melee, she gets to bully him with her chain. If she's mantraing it, she gets to chain root him and heal up a bunch too. That's a lot of health.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see, because he's gonna get rooted by it if he's staying on top of her, unless he just goes in for the poke. He just walks up to her, does a combo and then shadows out to break the chain.
Yeah, for sure. So taking a look at the summoner spells, since we are into this game now, Lulu does have teleport. So does Renekton. Everybody else is it's standard.
Yep, these are very standard. Your top laners have teleport.
Everybody
your
has
AD
Ignite.
carries have heal.
Thresh does have
exhaust. Morgana has Ignite.
And I think I might actually agree with exhaust here, just because Jinx doesn't have a dash, and she relies.
Well,
on
exhaust is
raw
great
damage.
on Zed. Zed ults in, you exhaust him, and it basically turns him off. It's really good. They did nerf it slightly. It just slightly lowered the damage reduction on it because it was just, it was too good. You had the problem that your assassin or your bruiser went in to do damage and then it got exhausted and then couldn't literally just didn't do anything in a fight. You just turned them off with a single summoner spell, and that was just a little bit too powerful late game. Exhausting Vi is fine, but not great. And we'll see. Ignite can help them win, but I really don't think Jinx, Morgana. I think they have to go aggressive really early, level 2, level 3. To make, they have to make plays, because otherwise I think just Thresh Lucian, the 100% lifesteal lane is going to be a huge, just be a problem.
Thresh has 100% wife steal?
Yes, I did.
I heard lifesteal for some
no,
makes no
100%
sense.
lifesteal.
There we go. Anyway, so this game, it will be starting up here. Keep in mind, we do have that 3-minute delay to prevent ghosting and cheating in the tournament.
And Thresh is stuck on 24% here, so we may have had a disconnect. It might take us a little bit longer to get this game going.
He's rolling now. He's rolling a little bit here. But this is for the finals. Whole enchilada is on the line, and by that I mean they're fighting over a Triumphant Rise skin, and a little bit more RP is what's going on here. But both of them will be getting lots of goodies here. At least 2,400 RP, I believe, if I remember my numbers correctly.
Yep, 2,400 and then 3,200 for the.
And then with the Triumphant Rise skin. And meanwhile, afterwards, we will be having a post-game interview with at least the team captain of the winning team. So we'll see exactly what's going on there. And
everyone buying real quick. Should see people head out.
So this game is underway. And I think
Lucian tried to buy a ancient coin. He actually did buy an ancient coin. Thank God that
the buyback.
Buyback is so important. I'm so glad they got that in the game. I remember you're like, oh God, I bought the wrong item. The game's over. You're literally just it's like I already lost my lane.
Yep, and pretty standard start across the board here. Zed decided to go with that longsword instead of the Doran's Blade, but I don't expect very much differently, because ever since they changed Doran's Blade, it doesn't have that quite as substantial of early game regen as it used to. It's still pretty good, but since it was a big
nerf to top, basically, is what it did. It was a nerf to top sustain and a buff to AD carries. You can get enough lifesteal off of runes and Dorans.
Yep. And essentially, he's probably going to go for that either that quick brutalizer or a I don't know, maybe he'll go for a quick Vamp Scepter into Blade of the Rune King. It really depends on what he's deciding to go with here. But I would expect brutalizer because I think it's still pretty good on him. But we'll see what he decides to go with that. Did I say brutalizer? I meant Blade of the Rune King.
Yep. And that Blade of the Rune King is pretty standard. It's interesting to see like how this longsword 3 pots will. He does need to you really do want more sustain than just just potions, just the potion and the Doran's Blade in the melee versus ranged matchup. Just because you need to get your kit. You need to get to level 3 or level 4 to really be able to brutalize people.
And I have a feeling that it's either mid or bottom is where the action is going to happen. Renekton's just going to bully Lulu, and she's just going to keep running out, I think is what's going to happen.
Yeah, he might actually have some problems, because even though he's a big bully, she is ranged, and she does have that auto attack story on her passive, so we'll see, we'll see how she pokes. Wow, she does no damage. Oh yeah, she relies on her auto attack poke too much, so that Doran's Blade just makes it do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, Doran's Shield, rather.
Yep. So she is going to get bullied and run away probably a little bit here.
She's trading okay, but this is very good. Renekton staying same health as a ranged champion at this point. When he's not even level 2 or 3 yet, he doesn't have his kit.
Bottom lane, nothing too exciting going on. Junglers are still
Thresh is coming in though.
Here.
He's going to try. Jinx is trying to dash this. Bushin dives in, and this is actually on the tower, but Renekton's going hard on.
Up at top lane, yeah, some big damage there. He doesn't burn any sort of flash to try and get in a little bit closer yet.
Yeah, but, and he has teleport. That was a kill if he had ignite, but. If he can actually out-sustain this lane, which it looks like he might be able to, because Lulu's out of potions too, she'll, and he has built-in sustain, she doesn't. She's, he's just going to win this lane even without that ignite that would have gotten him the kill.
So J4 has a mild level advantage currently right now, just because he did decide to get an extra camp here before bye, so he is actually a camp ahead, and looks like Renekton finally got that kill up at top.
Yeah.
Just overextended a little bit, got that stun into the Dyson Slice. So nice and nice play up there. Vi going for the gank here at mid, but unfortunately Karma, she is going to be able to get to the safety of her turret. Going to take some solid damage. Meanwhile, bottom lane.
Wow, teleport coming in. Renekton going hard on Vi, dives, takes a tower hit, and then runs out.
Yep, and meanwhile, bottom lane, Lucian managed to get the kill there on Jinx. So unfortunate there for Jinx, and she decided to get a double Doran's Blade there for.
Yeah, and she's going to need it. But like I said, don't like these Jinx pickups. And I think we saw it in the last game we casted 2 in the finals, where they just picked a Jinx and then got dumped.
Oh, yeah.
But,
she's good. But
she's a late game champion. And, truthfully, I think she's the 3rd best, late game scaling champion. I think Kog'Maw and Triss are both better.
Anyway, meanwhile,
coming in on this Karma again, but Karma still has her flash, so
and she Volt Breakers.
Yeah, she came in, Karma just walks through, the minions getting away. This isn't gonna do anything.
Bottom lane, it looks like Jinx is getting a little wrecked here down here.
Yeah, she's still level 2. That's really rough for her.
Yep, and meanwhile, blue team is going for a gank here. Vi is coming along the side. They do not have vision.
They don't have vision. Let's see if they got their spikes.
There's vision. Drops the ward.
Yeah, I think Vi could have fought that. I think they could have won that 3v2, but I'm not positive. And this is a little bit weird.
I don't know. Jinx was pretty low. It would have just been her and Ward.
But Vi does a lot of damage.
Yeah, she does.
I don't know. She would have had to go on Thresh, and that would have been rough.
Meanwhile, it looks like at top lane, where Renekton has successfully zoned her out of a little bit of experience because he is level 5 already, while she's only level 4.
She's got a wave of building, but he did get first blood on her, so. It is Renekton. He is still the quintessential lane bully.
It happens. In terms of farm, though, it's fairly even. 1,000 gold is just the advantage right now, and that's mainly on the bottom lane right now, just because Jinx did die, and it looks like she missed out.
Creeps.
Yep.
As well as the first blood, obviously, on Renekton.
Yep. So, oh man, Lulu up at top lane manages to bully the Renekton out and finally pick up a kill there with the, what was that, Whimsy into the Q.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of interesting. Renekton started pickaxe. He got pickaxe boots on his back. And, that's I think that's fine, but it still just, obviously didn't pay off for him at all.
Yeah.
You know, Lulu doesn't have Ignite. They both have teleports. It's not like, you know, you're just trading off, like, we die when the other person has Ignite. He just, you know, maybe he went too hard on her and, like, polymorph, you know, she just got, like, a really good polymorph or something.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we weren't up there to see exactly what happened.
So
but
Karma still dancing around here at mid with Zed, and it looks like Zed's starting to feel a little bit of that pressure from her, but he is managing to maintain farm. But
yeah.
Zed
Neither of them have
farms
gone
okay.
back.
Because he does have those Qs, and it looks like he is going to get hit with a beautiful Q there from Karma, and that's going to be enough for him to miss out on actually a lot of XP and gold here. So.
Yep. He might actually be in range of some of that XP at that point. The range is very far.
Oh, he's going to stick around, use a Q there to clear the minion waves just a little bit here. Bottom lane, blue team's pushing out a little bit here, but keep in mind, Lucian does have that Bilgewater Cutlass, which means he has very strong trading potential there, because he does have that bonus active effect, which is very strong.
And Zed still hasn't managed to go back. He's gonna miss a wave. This is a good wave to go back on now. He's fighting in a lot of creep.
Lulu taking some solid damage here up at top lane, brings her down to half. Not too exciting. Looks like J4 wants to go for some counter jungling here a little bit. Try and see if the red buff is up.
Yep.
And there it is.
He walked away too late. Maybe he just wanted to...
He is aware that the red buff is
Yeah, but he didn't
up,
put a word on it, so I guess he's just like, is this up? Okay, walking away. So he sees Vi warding, so he knows that she's going to be at red. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about it, though.
Yeah.
He'll just, you know, have the knowledge of she's doing a red buff. She's probably going to, you know, go to top jungle shortly.
So Renekton's still trying to bully Lulu here, but Lulu's doing some solid damage, and it looks like he's actually going to go down here. Burns the Dominus, nice damage being traded on both, but there's the polymorph, and that's going to be enough to force Renekton back.
Yeah, that was weird. He went in on her, and then Dominus?
Yep.
Like, I feel like if he was going all in, he should have Dominus right away to get that magic burn damage on her.
Yep.
But, you know, maybe it was just... He also didn't Cold a Weak, like, he went into creeps. But, like, when you fight enemies in creeps as Renekton, you want Cold a Weak to kill the creeps and heal you. Or Cold a Meek. Cold a Meek.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, and he didn't do that. Like, it wasn't up. So that's, you know, that seemed just like a little bit of some... You know, like, you can't fight in creeps normally. Renekton kind of can because he has good enough AoE that he can usually, if they're at, like, half health or 2/3 health, depending on what level he is, he can clear them with his abilities when he goes in.
Especially once he gets Tiamats, and it looks like he's trying to
he's definitely rushing a Tiamat.
So,
but he bought a Doran's Cube, gives him a little bit more sustain in lane, and will give him, you know, some health, which he really does kind of need.
And it looks like bottom lane, the lane is firmly in Lucian and Thresh's control. They are up almost 30 creeps. So that's a little rough here. It looks like Jinx will be able to clear a little bit of this out, try and cut back into that. But that's unfortunate right now.
They're not going to get ahead. Thresh keeps zoning her. She's not doing any damage to Thresh. J4 doing some damage to Vi here.
Yep, Vi gets forced back into her jungle in a little bit more of a defensive place. And J4 is still at pretty close to full health, so he's going to go back to farming. And we'll see if he decides to swing up to top and put some pressure on up there.
Yeah, Lulu's pushing really hard. Renekton's pinged the ward where it's warded, so I would not be surprised to see Lulu... Yeah, he goes in way early, though. This is going to scare her off. He got her ult out, so this is going to be great. Oh, her ward just died. Karma's going hard on... Yeah, this is going to be interesting for Lulu. J4 hits the knockup. This should be a dead Lulu.
Yep, and manages to get that kill.
So, yep, and they'll clear some creeps, put some pressure on, but her teleport should be back up. Nope, never mind. Interesting, it's halfway down.
And it looks like Purple Team's still pushing down out.
Karma's actually going to rotate bottom, it looks like. No.
More.
Zed's coming through lane, and Vi's also coming through lane, but they see it. So we're going to see, I don't know what they're going to try and do here. Put pressure on bottom because they know that they're losing top tower, I guess. Or they can just pressure Dragon, knowing J4 is top. But Renekton has teleport. This is a little dangerous. Thresh misses the hook on Jinx. I don't know if it's just our time delay or if Morgana's being slow on these shields, but they're looking like shields are coming up too late.
They're starting this. Vi is going to take a lot of damage. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with this. Karma's going to rotate
Here's the teleport from Renekton. Someone's going to die here. Morgana gets hooked. That's going to be a dead Morgana.
Yep, Morgana, she does get her ultimate off, but doesn't get the stun, so that's very important. Renekton looks like he wants to engage here on something, and J4 comes in along the side. There's the death mark on there. Does take some pretty big damage. We'll see if the kill goes off. Ignite And there's the kill.
Yeah, Zed does manage to kill this J4.
But he does flash in to get it instead of flashing out. So he does go down.
Yeah, Thresh on point with these death sentences, though. Really picking people up, so.
So purple team is going to engage the dragon. Jinx kind of hanging out over the wall there. Another nice death sentence, and that's going to be enough to kill Lucian here. Vi picks up the kill. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
reverse it.
Yeah, Lucian picks up the kill on Vi there. So they're just kind of, blue team's just kind of like hanging around and getting picked off. You know, weird, like...
Super Mega Death Rocket gets Renekton in the Dragon Pit, and wasn't an attempt to steal Dragon, but...
Yeah, it doesn't get the steal, but it does kill Renekton, which is definitely
a
very good pickup. Especially considering Lulu's back top, so she's been farming. So now J4 has to go up there to hold that lane.
And keep in mind, Jinx hasn't gone back in like ages, so she has like enough for a BF
She just has double
sword
thorns play. She has like a BF sword and boots on her.
Like, yeah, she can at least get both of those. And it looks like they are going to catch Lucian. Shooting match, and she does.
Okay, she does kill him. If she had had items, that would have she wins without dying there easy.
Yep.
Like Morgana a BF sword is really important. But Morgana has red buff.
Does get pulled into turret range, misses the bind, and it looks like Vi really wanted to engage.
Well, I don't think she wants to engage. I think she's just, oh, maybe they're not doing damage. I figured they were going to put a ton of damage in the tower. Thresh was out of mana. You know, they could just sit there and auto-attack that tower, put it down to half health. And if Thresh, like, came up at all, they could probably dive him. If Morgana hit a bind. It's basically all about that.
So mid lane, blue team still pushing out here at the mid lane, and purple team trying to defend it a little bit here. Thresh going back, Lucian gonna rotate down to bottom, get up some farm. And it looks like we might see a small fight here in the jungle, but a Q from Karma might be enough to completely mitigate it. Blue team manages to steal the blue buff, so pretty strong there.
Yeah, great timing, great awareness by blue team there, just being on top of that, knowing that like J4 wasn't there, that they weren't on time. So yeah, good, and they have a lot of ward coverage right now. Blue team's really got tons of wards in that bottom jungle, as well as good wards up top. They have amazing vision control, which is really going to help them defend against some of this pressure put down by purple team, because bottom lane's been very behind. Although Jinx trading that kill wasn't awful for her. Instead of getting boots, she got a pickaxe. So she doesn't have boots, but her damage potential is very, very good right now. Probably higher than Lucian's, because never mind. He has Blade the Rune King finish. I didn't realize that.
Yep, he finished
4-1-1. But he also built a.
So that culling was very strong. Manages to force Jinx way back here. She is going to clear this wave, it looks like, and then she's probably going to head back. Beautiful death sentence, though. It's going to be enough to force the flash out of Morgana.
That was a good route.
She's going to take some hits, but it's not going to be enough. She throws out the zap, doesn't quite land it. Meanwhile, at mid lane, we still got a siege going on. Karma and Renekton putting some pressure on. And it looks like Vi and Lulu are going to rotate back to mid lane and top lane, respectively. So.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because Lucian had potions and is just healing up with that Blade of the Rune King, he's able to just do, they push them out of lane, they're going to get that tower for free. Renekton's going hard, he has that teammat already done.
Yes, sir. And it looks like Jinx, realizing that she really needs that mobility, decided to go with the boots and some health pots there for a little bit of sustain until she gets at least a Vamp Scepter is what I'm guessing is what she wants. But hopefully she just wants her Infinity Edge done immediately so that she has that.
Oh, this root hits on Karma. Zed's going, and this is a dead Karma.
Yeah, Mark, big damage. It might be enough to get the kill. Renekton, meanwhile, up at top lane, is going to go down to the Lulu. So blue team slowly clawing their way back towards this gold advantage.
And that's really rough for Renekton. He needs to not be going down he needs, his team presence isn't good enough. Lulu's team presence is great. He needs to be able to continue to bully this Lulu this early in the game, only at 15 minutes. She has Morello Namakan.
Yep.
Which is actually, that item's a very powerful early game item for APs. 20%, it's the cheapest 20% cooldown reduction item. It has 20 more AP than Athene's Unholy Grail. And it still has some mana regen on it. So if you can get by without the massive mana regen on Athene's, that item is extremely powerful, and that's even ignoring the passive, which is worth a fair amount of health, especially against someone like Renekton.
Yep, Renekton and strong health regen like Karma. It might prove useful against Karma if she ever does any ganks on her. Or Lucian, who has very strong health sustain with
it's just basically an added bonus.
But we'll
Lulu's hanging out in this bush. Let's see if she can...
She does have blue buff, though, so this is going to be very strong.
He has Cowl now, though, so I'm not sure she can actually continue to hurt him.
Especially with that Hydra, it's going to be a little rough. She does burn the ultimate.
He doesn't have Hydra yet. He didn't finish Hydra. He built Spectral Cowl. Yeah, he's had Tiamat. He went back and bought Spectral Cowl, which is, I think, exactly what he needed to build, because I don't think she can win trades with him anymore. Not only does it have that damage mitigation, it also has that massive health regen. Over when you're taking sustained magic damage, which he will be against Lulu. She doesn't have tons of burst. She's all about the sustain, and he's actually going in behind her. But a fight on 5 versus J4, it's going to disengage. Nothing's going to happen there.
Save the purple ward temporarily, but it's going to be enough for.
And Renekton pushes this Lulu out of lane. She's actually going back and warding Tribush, and then just leaving entirely. So.
Okay, we'll see. I'm really curious about the AD carries here. We're once again seeing that hyper-techy Lucian build versus the, standard AD carry.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be the Youmu's, the Bork Youmu's Lucian build. And we will see how well this box of kittens does.
Yeah. It might be
He's way ahead, but, we've seen, Talon get way ahead, build some questionable items. And then, because he went from 4-0-0 in our game to, 6-5-1.
Vi once again gets engaged upon by the Karma, gets actually rooted by her W, and taking some pretty big poke. That sentence comes in with the play, and might be enough.
Yeah, I don't know if she's slow on these black shields or if the cooldown was up, but she's just, these black shields haven't really been on point. She's not mitigating important CC with them.
Purple team is going to get this dragon. That's going to push the gold advantage to about 6k in their favor here.
That's a...
it was a little high. 5.
Yep.
So, purple team here is going to be probably rotating here towards mid. Zed is in a bad place.
Yeah, it's Zed though. He's slippery enough that they're going to chase, which I think is smart. Just get your farm, put some pressure on mid. That tower's still up, so they should be able to. Well, Jinx and Vi are both there, and Jinx has okay wave clear, so.
Yep, Jinx is there. Thresh manages to land the death sentence, but the big Q from Karma is going to be enough to put a lot of pressure here on Vi. Forcing some health pots because she is keen on looking to ult, it looks like. I think she really wants to ult someone. But we'll see. It looks like Karma decides to get out of there.
They go to blue. Karma runs around, which just lets them kill this tower. Jinx goes in, hits the root on Thresh, forces him to flash.
Yeah, he just didn't want to take that damage apparently. Meanwhile, at bottom lane, Lucian did clear the waves out a little bit. But he was not able to participate.
And he's actually finished he's finished that box of kittens. We now get to see how well this Bork Youmu's work, and it does give him a lot of mobility.
Yep. Meanwhile, at top lane, Renekton and Lulu are trading. Lulu is trying to hang loose with this Renekton.
Yeah, he hasn't gone back though. He's sitting on some gold. I don't know what he's going to build next. I think he should finish the Hydra. He needs the sustain. Yeah, I think he really needs that the Hydra sustain as well as that Spectral Cowl damage mitigation.
Yeah, for sure.
To be able, because once he has that Hydra, I don't think Lulu's going to be able to interact with him eventually at all.
Purple team starting to siege here up at this middle turret, and it looks like they are. I don't know. They might be able to get this. Morgana's throwing out some stuff. Zed decides to engage.
Hard on.
He is going to go down here to ignite, I think.
Oh, yep, you're right.
And does not quite get the kill on Lucian. Lulu decides to engage a little bit there, trying to poke out with those Qs a little bit. Takes some poke herself. Actually gets caught out a little bit. Gets hit by a Q from Karma.
Yeah, but
throws
they don't
down
have
the
any
ignite on
damage.
Thresh. Big Death Rocket manages to take out Thresh. Doesn't quite get the Lucian though. And now blue team is so very low. Does get wrecked by J4. Vi comes in with the dunk, manages to pick up the kill, but not before he gets the double kill. Now she's engaging on Karma, but now flashes over the wall to try and avoid that bind, and everything is hitting the fan, it looks like, here for blue team. So another big Q, and it looks like they're going to go deep on her. There's the flash stun. There is the quasi-ace there. And purple team going to take a couple tower hits, and they might be enough for them to take down this tier 2 turret. But Zed is back up. His ultimate still has a little bit of a cooldown, but he is just going to be able to clear this minion wave, it looks like. So that was crazy.
Yeah, there's crazy extended fight. Great plays by both sides. Biggest problem is, Morgana's getting her ult off, but she's dying before it stuns.
Yep.
And she's, hitting her good binds, but no one's up to take advantage of them. Like, it was just her and her and Vi. Yeah, I think it was just her and Vi.
No, it wasn't Vi. It was her and.
It wasn't Jinx. I think it had to be Vi. But there was 2 people up, but no one was able to really follow up on the damage that she was doing when she hit her bind.
No, it was Lulu for a while, right?
In any case,
Zed. No, it was Zed because it went ham.
Yeah, I thought he died. I thought it was after. In any case, doesn't matter. Don't remember.
Because Lulu rotated in later and tried to poke him down after Zed went down. So Zed went ham. That's what happened. So anyway, blue team still dancing around here at mid lane, trying to kind of push this out a little bit. Purple team is rotating in, though. Looks like they're going to try and play.
And Renekton doesn't have his
oh god, Vi gets caught trying to ward here, taking some big damage. He is going to wall break over the wall. Thresh is there, and it looks like he's going to try and force engage. Misses the death sentence, but big damage goes in on Jinx. Down she goes. Purple team still trying to chase in this jungle a little bit. Looks like they forced Vi, clearing some wards out in the process, and it looks like Zed is going to get a little caught.
Yeah, we did get to see that adorable culling to just kill to kill Jinx.
Oh gosh, wow. Beautiful combo there from Thresh with the death sentence into the dark passage. Manages to pick up the kill there on Vi. So beautifully played there. This Thresh has been spot on with all his plays. Once again, a support almost carrying the team, but not quite. Like, he's doing very well, though.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that. That Nami was very powerful. That was a great black shield.
Yep. Manages to mitigate a lot, but Lulu is going to go down here to the red buff here from Lucian. And now Zed is trying to take out Karma here, but Karma's doing a lot of work. He manages to reset hecka far away with all sorts of jukes, and now Purple Team does manage to pick up that kill, though, on Lulu, and they're all still pretty full. So they're going to have a strong push here. It looks like at bottom lane they're going to rotate down to. Zed is still caught out. And it looks like he is just going to shadow over the wall there and take out a ward. Dragon's up in 40 seconds, but I think this turret is going to take some severe punishment.
I think it's going to go down.
Yep.
The problem is
Karma's landing some big
they rely really heavily on Lulu for kind of their like ranged damage, because like with Zed and Morg doesn't do a lot of damage, and like Zed and Vi, they can't get in there, and when you're behind like this, like you're 10,000 gold behind, especially against like a beefy line like J4 and Thresh with Karma supporting, you know, and she's not support but just supporting that line, you can't really go in.
Purple team prepping for that dragon a little bit here. Renekton deciding to was like, screw it, I'm going to engage. Does a massive amount of damage here with the dominant stun and all sorts of damage here to Vi.
Yeah, looks like Vi will get out, but I don't think
Zed gets exhausted, manages to try and escape away, but does go down to Karma here. Another beautiful death sentence here, followed up by a Cataclysm. That's going to be enough to take out Lulu. Renekton barely escapes, even though Lulu almost got him.
Lucian flashes over the wall, but gets bound.
Oh, and another attempt at the death sentence, but the dark passage might be enough to pick up the kill with the piercing light. So, beautiful plays there.
Yeah, Thresh has just been on top of everything here. Very, very good on his Thresh, so...
I've seen him miss one death sentence, and even then it hit a minion and allowed him to get the kill still, or ensure the kill. So...
Yeah. He's just been very, very on top of it, and that really is the benefit of the Thresh. It's you know, like, and that's probably why, you know, at that highest level of play they still need to nerf him a little bit, is because that that dark passage is just a tremendously powerful ability when you're very coordinated.
Yep.
When you can really use it very well and you're on top of it, it is an insane mobility. You know, like 1,500 yard range dash. I don't mind if I do. Like, people would kill for it. I remember joking about, like, you know, Blitzcrank, stop pulling Nasus. It's like, Nasus would love to have an ability that said, do 360 magic damage to yourself, dash on top of Blitzcrank from, like, 1,000 units away. Like, he would kill for that. He would be like, oh my god, you could, like, almost double the damage done. He would still be fine with it.
So Purple Team just putting consistent pressure across the board right now. Goal advantage is just under 13k in their favor, so it's definitely substantial at this point. We'll see if they can hold on to it. They have pretty strong vision control of at least their side of the map. Blue Team is doing a lot of defensive.
Thresh hits another hook, and this is
that's a dead Vi. Oh, she flashes the wall. Renekton chases, but Karma, she's just also been spot on with her Qs too, doing a lot of damage. Another big death sentence. That might be enough to ensure the kill on this Lulu. Followed up by the Call to Meek. Taking some big damage. The root by Karma. That combo is just absolutely brutal at picking off opponents right now.
Yeah, and Thresh started walking away because he's like, we got this kill. You know, he's just like, okay, got it. I did my job. You know, he's like, let someone else get the kill. And then he realized that she might not actually, so he actually had to walk back. But this is probably
Zed versus Lucian. I think they're both going to kill each other.
Yep.
And awesome. Purple team, meanwhile, is just, you know what? We're just going to walk through your top lane here and take an inhib is what their plan is right now.
And that's actually kind of impressive. This Zed is 3-4. He is not very big versus a 9-2-7 Lucian. And managed to pick up that kill.
Yep. Thresh manages to get the kill here on Jinx. Purple taking some nice damage, but they are also dishing out lots of damage. And now Morgana is going to go down. Cataclysm ensuring the kill there. Lulu comes in, and she's not going to be able to stop this. And the inhibitor is going to go down. Purple team are most likely going to fall back here.
Yep, they'll go spend all this money they have stored up, and then probably pressure Baron.
Yep, they have all the monies, and it looks like surrender vote does go
down.
down.
Surrender. Yep.
Blue team decides to throw in the towel, being down, you know, getting close to 20K is really rough.
Yep. So the box of kittens turned out very well. Lucian did amazing that game. Although I'm not sure how much of it was that.
IE, so.
Yeah, he had that IE done, but I'm not sure how much of it was that Yo moves and how much of it was Thresh just being a monster. Yeah, like 20 out of 26 kill participation. That's like 85% kill participation.
Yeah.
You know, Karma's on 19 actually. So.
Pretty absurd. Those Thresh and Karma. She had massive Q poke.
Yeah, she was very on top of her. Karma looked very, very good.
And Renekton was just they just had really good follow up. Like they were doing a really good job of coordinating the binds with the W and the.
Yep. So I believe that was C8 Nam.
Yes, C8 Nam.
Yeah, C8 Nam is our victors, and they will be taking home that 3200 RP as well as that Triumphant Rise skin. So, and yep, our Lumpy Space Princesses or Lumpy Space Pirates, depending on how stupid you are.
Hey, just quit glaring at me.
I'm not glaring at you. I'm smiling at you. In any case, they will take home second. Put up a very nice performance there, and you know, like we talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but I really, you know, I don't like picking Jinx into like a Thresh. You know, I think you can pick her into a Nami, but I don't think you can pick her into a
picks there. Thresh, like clearly, like normally picking
Thresh was awesome,
into Morgana,
and we're not taking away anything he did.
Normally you don't pick Thresh when Morgana is already picked, just because like if they're on top of their black shields, super hard to do anything.
Yeah, but that was something we had seen too.
Worked.
She didn't seem super comfortable, and maybe it was latency, maybe it's just not a ton of experience on Morgana. But you really you have split-second reaction time on those black shields, and you got to be ready for it all the time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it doesn't do anything. It's just it's a blank ability. Because if Thresh hits the death sentence, that black shield turns from the best ability in this matchup to doing nothing. So you're a champion with 2 abilities and an ultimate, and your damage ability. Your root's great, but your puddle kind of sucks when it comes to damage.
So it looks like the final standings of this tournament is C8 Nam did go home with that first place. In second place was that Lumpy Space Princess. They managed to take home that 2400 RP. And it looks like in third place, it was the Surprise I'm Black, if I recall. They came in third. And the fourth place was the Trust.
Twist and Shout fanfic. You can't get that one for the life of you.
No, I don't know why. I keep thinking like Trust or I don't know. That one.
Yeah. All right, it looks like our championship team will not be able to make it for a quick, interview. They have, I think, another match to go to. But in any case, there's a lot of tournaments running on Saturday. But so it doesn't look like we will be having an interview. That's unfortunate, but we had some great games for you guys today. We're pretty done. If you liked what you saw, or even if you didn't, please go push that follow button and go like us on Facebook. It really does help us out a tremendous amount. Get us some more visibility, get us some more teams in here, and hopefully we'll really be able to expand and start offering, the tournament structure is awesome, but we'll be able to, expand our ability to deliver great tournaments and great content to you.
Yeah, and also don't go get a team and come play, because we had 8 teams that were participating in this tournament. One got disqualified.
Yeah, one
in the first
one didn't
round.
show up. They went and played a custom game. Or something.
Yeah, come because after that first round, you got free RP, free RP for like a couple hours of your time.
Yeah, so there are some challenges showing up, but you know, like you're, you know, and it is single limb too. So if you get knocked out early, you've only lost an hour of your day. And yeah, so like come play in our tournament, show up. You know, like the prizes are there; they're great. You get some exposure. You get some great tournament practice too. You know, there's nothing that compares to actually playing in a real live tournament. Even scrims, you know, like people don't take them as seriously. You know, it's just a little bit of a different environment than playing in an actual tournament. So it's great to get your experience. Have a great time on a Saturday.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all we've got for you guys. That interview is not going to be happening. We are sorry about that. So, and yeah, I had a great time casting this tournament.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. A lot of
lots of great games. Learned a lot. You know, a lot of things really. You know, we got to see that box of kittens Lucian build, and it worked pretty well.
Nar though. Dang it, I'm
zero
so
Nars.
sad.
Very
anyway,
sad.
Thanks again for watching, guys. We really did enjoy your presence with us. Make sure you check us out on the YouTube channel. Sometimes we have some goodies for you guys there.
Some goodies there, but yeah, like and follow us one last time.
And I've been Rubel.
And I'm Splendid Bobble, and it's been great casting for you guys. Hope to see you next week.
See you next Saturday.